Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome, or welcome back if you were with us this morning, but welcome all to Whilton Mill Kart Circuit for continuing coverage of round 3 of the 2019 WMKC Championships. My name, as that lovely graphic has just shown, thank you, Darren, I'm Howard Mitchell from Double Dash Motorsport Media. Do check us out on Facebook. I've been informed this morning, we just hit 400 likes, so come on. There, thank you. Yeah, let's have it again, why not? So yeah, check us out on Facebook. If you have enjoyed what you've been hearing, enjoying the coverage today, then check us out. We get up to a lot of cool stuff, and of course we are working alongside Alpha Live here to bring you streamed video coverage of the day's action. And we're going to go into the afternoon's action now, which, convenient enough, being as the graphic has just come up, begins with the 4th heat for Honda Cadets. Honda Cadets, the one class that does have 4 heats. I'll give you the grid now because the cars are just getting ready now in the paddock area. Macy Hitter will start from pole on this one. Devon Nolan alongside. Henry Jocelyn and Ewan Charman will be on row 2. Zach Drummond and Jamie Perrelly on row 3. Aidan Mitchell and Kaiser Ryman on row 4. Row 5 will be Thomas Bierman and Joe Cheek. On row 6 will be Wesley Swain and Jack Plant. Then it'll be Sonny Mortensen and Gustavs Yuzakovs. On row 7. Row 8 will be Hayden Eldridge and Ryotaro Sakai. Harrison Murrow and Jehan Kalachern will be on row 9. Row 10 and rounding out the top 20 will be Timo Youngling and Alfie Richards. James Bell and Reg Haywood will be on row 11, then Oscar Teuton and Nathan Marks will be on row 12. And then it will be Kian Nakamura Berta starting from 25th with Bobby Rosier alongside. Joshua Patch and Jai Lawrence. And then it will be Aston McAndrew Uren, Ethan Simmons, Jacob Anslow, Kenzo Craigie and Holly Mile. To round out that grid. I think we were missing the last two on that grid, but Kenzo Craigie and Holly Mial. And that is going to be heat 4 of the cadet. So last heat for the cadet class, heat number 4, and then we'll be into heat number 3 of all the other classes. If the previous heats have been anything to go by, we're in for another very close race here. So Macy Hitter and Ralph Youngling on row number 1. That's the 39 and the 94. We're going to have a standing start for this one. Honda Cadets the 1 Series where we have that. Which is why you see them all coming to a stop here. 8 minutes will be on the clock. It's going to be 8 minutes plus a lap. If you didn't join us this morning, you missed a treat, because fantastic action. But thank you very much to all of you who are supporting the stream this afternoon. Based on this morning, I think we can guarantee some good racing action. The last heat of all the classes to go, plus the all-important finals. As you can see, 8 minutes on the clock then for our Honda cadet drivers aged between 8 and 12 years. So some of our younger drivers here today. Don't forget, you can interact, leave your comments on YouTube, or indeed under the Facebook stream on the WMKC's page, the comments that we're looking at. But you can also view the stream on Alpha Live's page and Double Dash Motorsport Media's. And I think I can tell we're good for a go, because I can hear engine notes rising. The eyes on the lights, and they're away. We're away for heat number 4. Macy Hitter leads them away into turn 1. Looks like got a good start there, but also a good start for Ralph Youngling in the 94. As they head up the hill, and it is Ralph Youngling who's got into the head of this one. Macy Hitter in second, as there's the usual jostling for position as they head into Inkermans and down towards the downhill braking into Ashby. Youngling feels the need to go defensive as they go 2 wide, 3 wide, every which way wide, and that's very wide for the number 14. I think that's Aidan Mitchell going across the grass there. Can see, I think Zach Drummond's had a good start. Could see him just trying to go up the inside of somebody there into Oziers, but the 45 is challenging for the lead here, and that's Ewan Charman, who I think has got to the lead there, going around the outside into the boot, which is an unusual way to see an overtake executed here at Whilton Mill, but whatever works. Ewan Charman does indeed lead. Zach Drummond did have a good start. He's in second. Henry Jocelyn is in third. Jamie Perrelly in fourth. Fifth for Devon Nolan. Ralph Youngling's transponder had a bit of an issue. That's why he's just shot to the top there. So it's Ralph Youngling in second, Zach Drummond in third, Macy Hitter, Henry Jocelyn, Jamie Perrelly, Devon Nolan, Jack Plant, Joe Cheek and Oscar Tewton round out the top 10, but rest assured that will change. As you can see, they're going into Ashby already. There are changes going up the inside there of Macy Hitter there. That looked like Zach Drummond, excuse me, going for a move there. And also on the move there, I can see Oscar Tewton in the 77. You can see the number 5 as well is beginning to come through. That's Kian Nakamura Berta, who featured so prominently in the morning's running. Charman, Youngling, Drummond, Hitter, and now it's Jamie Perrelly in 5th, Devon Nolan in 6th, Oscar Tewton up 3 positions on that last lap, got past Jack Plant, Henry Jocelyn, and Joe Cheek, I believe, on that last lap. So really good stuff from Oscar Tewton. And the 51 is round, 51's round, and that's Hayden Eldridge, who's clearly had an incident there at the top of the hill and is going to need the attention of some of the marshals. Meanwhile, at the front, it's still Ewan Charman in the 45. Or is it? No, it's not. Sorry, we're looking at the battle there. That's the 40 of Jamie Perrelly going through. I think that's in a battle with Ralph Youngling. Yes, it was. It was the 40 going past the 94. So now Perrelly up to third place. Ewan Charman, Zach Drummond, and Jamie Perrelly, your top three. Yellow flags out for the incident Christmas, which means Oscar Tutor needs to not go up the inside there. I'm not the one making the decisions, but that looked worryingly close to an overtake under yellows from where I'm sat, but we'll have to wait and see. Ewan Charman, though, is doing everything he needs to do. In fact, he's 1.5 seconds up the road. You can just see him there going out of your shot. So he's got a fair old lead by the stands of the Honda Cadet. Yeah, look over the shoulder and you must be wondering where everyone's gone. Zach Drummond still in second, and there's Oscar Tuton getting up into second, and look at that. That is Nakamura Berta firing up the inside of Jamie Perrelly, or actually more up the outside, which then became the inside for the second part of the boot. So it's now Ewan Charman, Zach Drummond, Oscar Tuton, Jamie Perrelly, Kian Nakamura Berta, Jack Plant, Ralph Youngling, Macy Hitter, Devon Nolan, and Gustav Yuzakovs is now up into the top 10 as they head through Christmas once again. Nakamura Berta all over the back of Oscar Tuton here. There is your leader, Ewan Charman, and then there's the battle for second, and Nakamura Berta looks like he's going to try the inside of Tuton's, and I think he'll have pulled that off. Yes, he has, indeed. So the number 5 cart of Nakamura Berta now up to third on the road, and behind them, nice little move there. I think that was Ralph Youngling on Jack Plant, was it? Behind them, so nice move there. Zach Drummond now has the close attentions of Kian Nakamura Berta as they come round to begin lap number 6 with 3 minutes 20 on the clock, and sure enough, the number 5 Nakamura Berta has just set the fastest lap of the race at 53.8, so he is on a charge here, and here he is alongside Zach Drummond. He's going to surely hold it on the brakes on the inside. Indeed he does, neatly done. Nice stuff there from Kian, and he will now set about chasing down Ewan Charman, who's been doing a great job at the head of this one. The pace that Nakamura Berta has is very impressive at this point. It was Jack Plant getting past Jamie Perrelly was that move that I said we saw about a lap ago at Osiers. So it's now Jack Plant up into 5th place. So there's your leader, Ewan Charman, as it says. That's helpful. Put your name on your helmet. That makes it nice and obvious. Ewan written across the back of his helmet, and it's that driver who Nakamura Berta is now aiming for in the number 5 car. Zach Drummond is still holding in third, and there's Oscar Tuton in the 77, and Jack Plant behind in the 55. Devon Nolan's on the move as well, as is Gustav Yuzakovs. They both got past Ralph Youngling on that last lap. Plenty of battles going on throughout the field. In fact, Wesley Swain just got past Ryutaro Sakai. And oh dear, who's that gone out wide? That is... Was that Tuton? I'm going to say Nakamura Berta's pulled out the gap slightly. What's happened behind that? That's still Zach Drummond in third. I'm going to look to see who it is who went wide there. Oh, it was, no, sorry, it was Zach Drummond. It was the 55 I saw then of Jack Plant then up into third, not the 35. So Jack Plant now in third. Oscar Tuton as he was in 4th place. And then is Zach Drummond. And then behind him, look, there's the 23 of Ethan Simmons going past Wesley Swain, I think that was. There's a contact warning for Jack Plant for what we just saw the aftermath of Noses in the last lap. Here is battle slightly further down the order. And we're back with Nakamura Berta now, right onto the back of Ewan Charman. Over the line they go to begin lap 9. And it was the battle in the mid-pack that we saw Wesley Swain and Ethan Simmons getting past Macy Hitter and Ralph Youngling on that last lap. That was the exchange that we saw. Nakamura Berta just set the fastest lap of the race of 53.52. He's now right on the back of Ewan Charman. And I don't want to take anything away from what Charman's done so far in this race, but there's a feeling of inevitability, and that is the move made with Kian Nakamura-Berta now at the head of this field as the clock is doing a tick down. So now we've hit 0. It's going to be one extra lap when they next cross the line. And loads of battling still going on in the mid-pack though. Plenty of positions to still be worked out. And Charman is here going to try and keep with Nakamura-Berta. He now has that pace setter ahead of him. Sometimes if you don't have a kart with you to pace, then you can lose pace. But here, look at this. Nakamura-Berta's having to go super defensive there. And Charman is going to go to the outside. He'll get the undercut there. Will he get it again coming out there of the left-hand kink? Through Inkermans they go, and this is going to be Nakamura-Berta going very defensive again, and Charman again is going to go for the conventional line, try and get the switch back. But Nakamura-Berta is wise to it, constantly. You can see how aware he is, showing great awareness here as he defends this position, firmly but fairly. Into the boot they come then for the last time, and it looks like it's going to be Kian Nakamura-Berta coming round to take his third heat win of the day. Across the line he comes. Nakamura-Berta wins. Ewan Charman puts in a very impressive drive for second. Jack Blunt finishes third. Oscar Tewton in fourth. Zach Drummond in fifth. Jamie Perrelly had a brilliant last lap. Managed to get up to sixth. Ethan Simmons in seventh. Gustav Zuzikovs had a decent race there, working his way up to eighth. Devon Nolan in ninth. Wesley Swain in 10th. 11th for Ryutaro Sakai. Macy Hitter in 12th, Bobby Rosier in 13th, 14th for Tina Youngman, Aston McAndrew Uren, 15th, then it was Ralph Youngling, Joe Cheek, Thomas Bierman, Nathan Marks, Joshua Patch to round out the top 20, then it was Jai Lawrence, Reg Hayward, Jehan Kalichern, Aidan Mitchell, Alfie Richards, Henry Jocelyn, Kaiser Ryman, Kenzo Craigie, James Bell, Jacob Anslow, Sonny Mortensen, Holly Mile, Harrison Morrow, and we saw Hayden Eldridge getting into some woes. So that was Heat 4 of the Honda Cadets. That, I believe, is Hayden Eldridge just recovering to the pits. And next up will be the third heat and the final heat for the IARMY Cadets. So, IARMY Cadets Heat 3 then. This one's going to be led away by Alexander Senna with Kai Semi alongside. George Edgar starts third with Michael Walker alongside. Row 3 is going to be Eden Spanswick with Mason Bishop next to him. On row 4 is Aidan Neat and Macaulay Bishop. Maximus Hall and Cathal Clark round out the top 10. Row 6 is going to be Ella Stevens and Laith Khan. Mason Rudman and Ryan Gill will be on row 7. Row 8 will be Vinnie Phillips and Sebastian Mins. Then it will be Kian Nakamura-Berta, who's just fresh in his IARMY kart, fresh from winning in the Honda Cadets. Ben Folland will be alongside him. And it's Kian Geraghty and Jack Mowat to round out the top 20. Archie Clark and Alfie Garford on row 11. Row 12 will be Alfie Slater and Leo Purchase. Ben Crossley and Freddie Allen are on row 13. And rounding out the 27 karts is Archie Heron. And is this the first race where I've beaten all the karts out? I've said the whole grid before they came to the track. I think we're waiting for a kart to be recovered, possibly of Hayden Eldridge. Here they come now, your IARMY Cadets onto circuit. Here at a beautifully sunny Whilton Mill, as really is been a lovely. I feel like spring started this weekend in this part of the world. It really has been a nice couple of days, and we could not ask for nicer conditions. It's still a bit nippy. You need a jacket on, but it's lovely sunshine here, and the supporters, friends and family, spectators here have been making the most of that. They've been lining the balconies of the new clubhouse here at Whilton Mill, really taking the standard of this venue up to amongst the very best for go-karting in the UK. Long-standing series of championships. Shout out to all of the WMKC staff and officials who make this popular, and we're very grateful for the support, deciding to have this on live stream for you. Here we are then, ready for the Army Cadets. It's a rolling start for this class. Remember, Alexander Senna will lead them away, and it looks like a good start for him as well as grid number 3. I think George Edgar will have followed him through as they go through Oblivion and the Crook. And is that a full start flag I saw? Yeah, that's a full start. So there's something gone awry there with time or something there. You can see the full start flag. It's a green flag with a yellow downward chevron. I always like to think of it as we're going from green down to yellow. That's how I think of it. That's the full start flag of go-karting, so they will now go back into formation. And I didn't see any incident there, so as I say, I assume there was some kind of technical glitch there with the timing of some such. So they will form up again, and we'll go for it again. I spoke about this earlier when we had a red flag. It can be difficult. You've just got to calm yourself down and get ready for the restart. There was part of the race once that had about 6 full starts due to various reasons, and it just keeps building and building the tension. It's important to keep your head in the game as we're away again. Senna leads them away into Oblivion. A more even start, I feel, this time between the two parts of the grid. So Kai Semi may have been able to hold on to second place there as they come up the hill. No, George Edgar has got into second place again. Number 5 of Aidan Neat, though, having a good start there. Now, we saw Neat involved in an incident earlier today, which did lead to a red flag. It's good to see him back out there competing again. Alexander Simmons holds on to the lead into Ashby as they all work their way through. The 28 of Ella Stevens looks to have had a brilliant start there, up to about 5th or 6th. And Aidan Neat continues to be on the move. He's now up to 2nd with Maximus Hall in the number 6, getting himself up to 3rd as well. So good starts there from some drivers. And look at this, Aidan Neat alongside Alexander Senna, and he's going to go up the inside to take the lead at the conclusion of the first lap. Brilliant first lap then by Aidan Neat to get himself up into 1st at the end of lap 1. Alexander Senna, Maximus Hall, Macaulay Bishop, Kian Nakamura Berta, Vinnie Phillips and Ella Stevens, Eden Spansman, Catherine Clark. And there up the inside of Maximus Hall goes Macaulay Bishop into Christmas Corner, and Maximus needs to be careful there because he's going to be immediately into the clutches of Nakamura Berta, but I don't think he got the job done. No, he didn't, and Maximus Hall hangs on for now. There is Vinnie Phillips in the number 7 working his way up through the top 10. For the front of this race, though, it is Aidan Neat and Maximus Hall now. Maximus Hall right on the tail, further back, side by side there, between, I think that was Mason Whitman involved in that one we just saw side by side. And what's happened there? Off to driver's right. Something's happened to the first something's happened because I went slowly all of a sudden. But change for the not change for the lead. Sorry, a lot of pressure for the lead though. Aidan Neat with Maximus Hall all over the back of him now. Yeah, those are the two drivers I was talking about. I just saw them outside of my window having some issue. So they've come to a stop somehow. Alfie Slater and Ryan Gill. Very close together down the straight. I wonder if they became interlocked somehow and just gradually slowed each other down to a stop. Aidan Neat anyway goes wide in the second part of the boot, but it hasn't interfered with his line too badly, and he's able to hold on to the lead. But Maximus Hall has definitely hooked onto the back of him here, and you have a feeling this is one that could run and run. Kian Nakamura Berta just got past Macaulay Bishop as well. and is now up into third place. Here's your lead battle. Aidan Neat, Maximus Hall, Kian Nakamura-Berta, and Macaulay Bishop is with them as well. And there now, is that traffic? Oh, and there's drama at Christmas there as well. The 23 and the 74. And that would make it Kai Semi in that 74 and Jack Mowat in the 23. As the lead four come round to finish another lap, and behind them Vinnie Phillips is in battle with Ella Stevens and Archie Clark as well, and I think both Vinnie Phillips and no, it's as they were actually somehow. I think we just saw them resetting back to how they were at the start of the lap, having had a battle for halfway through the lap. So Aidan Neat, Maximus Hall, Kian Nakamura-Berta, Macaulay Bishop, they're your lead four here that you can see on your screens. And then it's Vinnie Phillips in the 7, Ella Stevens in the 20, and Archie Clark in the 43. Catherine Clark, who just got past our pole sitter Alexander Senna for 8th place. Just under 4 minutes left on the clock in this one. See Neat ducking his head on the straight to gain any advantage he can, and that's something we haven't picked up. Nakamura-Berta now ahead of Maximus Hall, so change for second place there, and he set the fastest lap to boot, 53.3. So now Nakamura-Berta is chasing down Aidan Neat for the lead of this one. Can he do 2 wins in a row? I reckon it would be his 4th heat win, competing of course across both classes today. And behind them, that's Vinnie Phillips, I think, and Ella Stevens still battling away through Ashby over 5th place. Great battle they're having, that's running for the whole race. But the question is, when do one of these drivers, when does the dam burst, so to speak? All these drivers keeping their powders dry at the moment, as is very wise in sprint racing. These drivers may be young, but they certainly know how to structure a sprint race together. You don't pounce until the end game of the race, such as we get into the last 2.5 minutes, and that's why Macaulay Bishop just went up the inside of Maximus Hall and is now in 3rd place. And as you can see, Maximus Hall could have gone for the overtake there, but again, I think just realising that if they're going to keep on terms with these top two, they need to work together. Aidan Neat though, holding off Nakamura-Berta, doing a brilliant job of doing so. Much easier said than done. We've seen how well Kian has been going today in both the Honda Cadets and the IAME Cadets. Ben Folland has had a good couple of laps. He's up to 9th now. He's overtaken 3 karts last lap, so from 5th downwards is Vinnie Phillips, Ella Stevens, Archie Clark, Catherine Clark, Ben Folland, Eden Spanswick, Mason Rudman, and Alexander Senna now down to 12th place. So all change there. There's some of it. This is the likes of Kian Geraghty, Leo Purchase, Mason Bishop. That's the battle pack we just saw there. But with less than 90 seconds plus the lap to go, we're looking at our top 4 now. They've caught upon some traffic now. I think that's Alfie Slater. No, it's not. It's the 34 of Ryan Gill. So Ryan Gill and Alfie Slater were involved in that incident earlier on, which they just seem to both mutually slow down, and that's opportunistic stuff from Macaulay Bishop, beautifully judged. And Nakamura-Berta was a little bit on the curb there, but as far as I could tell, that was firm but fair stuff. So change for 2nd place. Macaulay Bishop now up to 2nd place. There's going to be 2 more laps in this one. And Aidan Neat at the moment has an 8/10 advantage, which if you follow cadet racing at all, you'll know actually means he's got quite a bit in hand. But can Macaulay Bishop get on up the road? I think these 3 may just work together for a bit now to make sure they get up onto the back for Aidan Neat for the final lap. You can see Vinnie Phillips there in the background as well. He's just set the personal best. So he's trying to break the toe of that battle he's been having with Ella Stevens and Archie Clark pretty much race long. He's going to try and... Oh, no, he's not. He's still battling with... Oh, no, that's putting the lap on the 34. Oh, no, Ella Stevens is staying with him, though. Look at that. So They're both trying to work together. And look at this, battle for second place. And Nakamura Berta is up the inside in the second part of the boot. Nicely executed there. And he gets back second off of Macaulay Bishop as we're on to the last lap. The gap is 1.2 seconds to the leader, so if he can just keep it together, I think Aidan Neat has got this one, and they know. Look at Maximus Hall getting 2 wheels on the grass there. They know now, game's up, we're not going to catch up to the leaders. Now it's every driver for themselves. As they come down into Ashby for the last time, Maximus Hall is looking racy here. There'll be another opportunity into Oziers, but they're all too far back from each other. As Aidan Neat comes back onto the back straight. Well, it's brilliant to see Aidan Neat back at the head of the field. He had a nasty incident earlier on today. It's been I said it was good to see him back out there. It's even nicer to see him take a win. Across the finish line he comes. Aidan Neat wins ahead of Kian Nakamura Berta, Macaulay Bishop, Maximus Hall. Oh, Ella Stevens got Vinnie Phillips on the last lap. She took 5th place from Vinnie Phillips. Archie Clark finishes 7th, 8th for Cathal Clark. Ben Follen is 9th, 10th for Eden Spantwick. Leo Purchase finishes 11th, and it's Mason Rudman, Cian Geraghty, Alexander Senna, Alfie Garford, Sebastian Mins, Ben Crossley, Mason Bishop, Archie Heron, Michael Walker, George Edgar, Laith Khan, Freddie Allen, Kai Semi, Jack Mowat, and then Ryan Gill and Alfie Slater, who we saw being involved in some kind of drama on the start-finish straight, but they managed to recover from that and finish the race. So that's heats done for the I-Army Cadets. The next race will be their final. And next up for us will be Heat 3 of the X30 Minis. They'll be on track in just a moment. Heat 3 then of X30 Mini. Luke Garlick will start with Harry Pears alongside Bart Harrison. Has been going well today. He starts 3rd with Gabriel Stilp alongside Alfie Baxter Davis, and Alfie Briggs will be on row 3. Row 4 is going to be Jessica Edgar and Jack Sherwood, and then rounding out the top 10 on row 5, Leo Brown and Theo Mykuris. That's the screen I just read through. So it's going to be 11th for Antonis Sofronio. There you go. And Lewis Johnston Cole will be alongside him. On row 7 is Aidan Line with Bradley Beavers alongside. Row 8 will be Jack Cox and Ellis Borchia. Sam Baker and Brandon Templeton will be on row 9. And then there'll be Finlay Harrison rounding out the 19 karts on the grid. This is for drivers aged 12 to 17 years of age. Remembering these X30 Minis. See white number plates. If you see a black background number plate, it means that they are a novice driver, of which we've got 2 in this race. So who can take the final heat win, setting himself up as well as possible for the great today. Luke Garlick on the left, Harry Pears alongside. Away they go. It's a good start from Luke Garlick, but was that grid 3 getting a brilliant start there? I think Bart Harrison has got himself up to the front or near the front. I think that is him up there. And Harry Pears going up the inside for second place there at Christmas Corner as well. Are they all through cleanly? They look to be, as they head down to Ashby. Hard on the brakes down into that corner. A lot harder to brake for that than Christmas Corner because you're downhill rather than uphill as they all work their way through. Any attempt into Oziers? Yes, plenty. Can see them all working their way through. I think it's going to be Bart Harrison. I'm going to check as they come across the line, but it looked like it was Bart Harrison And a brilliant start from grid 3. Harry Pears is in second, Jessica Edgar in third, Alfie Baxter Davies in fourth, and it's Alfie Briggs Theo Mycouris, who had a good start up several positions. There he is in the 74, and he just got past Alfie Briggs in the 47 in fact, as there's a look there from, I think that was Jack Cox, trying to make some hay. And was that Jessica Edgar getting past Harry Pears for second as well? Yes, it was. So Jessica Edgar into second place, up past Harry Pears. And now they'll try and keep it with Bart Harrison, but Bart Harrison has been on some very impressive form today. Here he is in the 27. He's been doing a fantastic job so far. Alfie Baxter Davies, you just saw there in the 31 car, but he's just been taken by Theo Mycouris. So Mycouris on a charge here, won the last heat. Of course, Theo, there he is in the 74, so he cannot be ignored in this heat, or at all for that matter, featuring prominently in the championship for this class. That's Alfie Baxter Davies now defending against the 47 of Alfie Briggs, and the 42 of Gabriel Stilp is behind them. Back with our leader, Bart Harrison. Harry Pears now coming under pressure from Theo Mycouris. So they work their way through Paddock Bend to start another tour of this Whilton Mill circuit. International level. Theo Mycouris looking to the inside of Harry Pears into Christmas corner. Lovely stuff, textbook stuff there from Theo Mycouris. Got into the slipstream, had to run up the hill and under braking into Christmas corner. Meanwhile, Jessica Edgar is trying to get on to terms with Bart Harrison. There is a contact warning further down the field for the number 76 of Antonis Sofronio. And further back, look at this, the 29 of Bradley Beavers. Going at the inside of Gabriel Stilp in the 42, so that's a change for 7th place there. Bradley Beavers sat second in the championship in this class coming into today. Bart Harrison still leads, 1.5 seconds, nearly 1.6 in fact, his advantage. Just going in second, Theo Mycouris just set the fastest lap of the race. As there's a change there, I think that's Lewis Johnston-Cool and Jack Cox having a battle. So the 59 played there, making their way down into Ashby once more, throwing it into Wilkins. Back to our leaders, and Mycouris has got past, no he hasn't, sorry, he's still gaining on Jessica Edgar. There she is in the 17, and Mycouris slowly closing the gap. He is now closer to Edgar than Edgar is to our leader Harrison, and he just set another fastest lap of the race. It's all closing up in fact between the top three. They each took a bit of time out of each other. But you would not put it past this one now to challenging for second place sometime soon, because he's definitely putting the pressure on. Here Harry Pears is starting to fall back into the clutches of Alfie Baxter Davies, and Bradley Beavers has just got past Alfie Briggs. So Bradley Beavers doing well here, working his way up gradually through the top 10. Jack Cox did get past Lewis Johnston-Cool on that last lap, so that was the battle that he picked up. At Christmas corner, our leaders come around Paddock Bend once more, starting lap 7. 3 minutes on the clock plus a lap. Aidan Line just got past Gabriel Stilp for 8th on that previous lap as well. But Mycouris now, you can see Jessica Edgar is really pushing the limits on those brakes. You can see the back end just trying to step out from her. She's giving it everything she's got at the moment, but Mycouris is still going to have an opportunity into Ashby, and that's a really nice clean pass there by Theo Mycouris. Is Edgar going to try and come back? She's strong through Wilkins. Will she try into Oziers, or will it be a case of now working together to try and get on terms with Bart Harrison at the head of this field, as he is now 1.6 seconds to the good. There he is. You can see these top three have broken away somewhat now, and Harry Pears still leads that battle over 4th place, although Bradley Beavers has just picked up another one there. Bradley Beavers now past Alfie Baxter Davies, so Beavers now challenging Pears for 4th place. And there you can see him, in fact, Bradley Beavers jinks to the inside. He's going to try and do it under braking. Lovely stuff, didn't outbrake himself That was lovely and clean. Is there going to be any response into Ashby? No, they're going to continue to work together for now. Or as I say that, actually, up the inside goes Alfie Briggs on Baxter Davies, on Harry Pears even, excuse me. So Baxter Davies now ahead of Pears, and there is Alfie Briggs, and there's that Aidan Lyne battling it out side by side, and Gabriel Stilp in the 42 as well, trying to get involved. It's all going here. Bradley Beavers is in fourth, Alfie Baxter Davies fifth, then it's Harry Pears, Alfie Briggs, Aidan Lyne and Gabriel Stilp. Jack Cox behind them got past Leo Brown on that last lap. In fact, Lewis Johnson Cool has had some kind of drama. He's dropping back down the timing towards the back of the field, so drama there befalling the 59 kart. Fantastic battle this for fourth downwards. Theo Mykuris is closing the gap to Bart Harrison at the head of this one, so we will have to keep one eye on that. As up the inside tries Gabriel Stilp on Aidan Lyne, but it's not on there. And that compromised line is going to unsuccessful overtake attempt is going to compromise down the straight, but I'm sure Stilp will soon be back on it. Here's your leader, Bart Harrison, pushing hard here, and his pace is good, make no mistake. It's just that Theo Mykuris is just a little bit faster at the moment. 2 tenths was taken out on the last lap, but actually, you know what? Bart Harrison might have this in hand. It's going to be this lap that they're on, plus another, I think. Depends, not sure actually, it depends on quite when the clock will count down to 0. Now they might get in 2 more laps after this one. All depends on when Mr. Harrison crosses that line. He is going to cross the line, so there's going to be 2 more laps with this one, which is probably actually good news for Mykuris more than it is for Harrison, because Mykuris is closing the gap. Another 4 tenths taken out, another fastest lap of the race, a 46.44. Building up to a finish here. We're looking at the battle over fourth again. Bradley Beavers defending against Alfie Baxter Davies. Harry Pears and Aidan Lyne behind them. Down into Ashby they go. And then behind them, that's Alfie Briggs and Gabriel Stilp battling. You saw in the background, there's a warning for Sam Baker running in 13th. So he's going to be careful not to pick up any more of those. Bart Harrison is going to come round to finish the penultimate lap. Theo Mykuris, I think the gap has gone down again. It has gone down again, but only by 3 tenths of a second, and that still means that Bart Harrison has nearly 5 tenths of a second in hand, and is that going to be enough to hold off Mykuris? I think it might be, you know, but I wouldn't place your bets yet, folks. Into Ashby they go. Mykuris is definitely closing here. Jessica Edgar still doing well to hold position in third. Through Oziers they go. Well, Mykuris is running out of opportunities here, and I still don't think he's quite close enough. I think Bart Harrison, pending any disaster, is going to thread this one through the boot, as indeed he does. And round the last corner comes Bart Harrison, and he's going to take a win in Heat 3 of the X30 Minis. Good race from him, good race from Mykuris. Sets the fastest lap of the race on the last lap, actually, at 46.41. So you can't say he wasn't trying. Jessica Edgar finishes very impressive third. Bradley Beavers worked his way up well to finish fourth. Alfie Baxter Davies in fifth. Harry Pears in sixth. Then it was Aidan Lyne, Alfie Briggs, Gabriel Stilp and Jack Cox to round out the top 10. Leo Brown was 11th with Antonis Sofronio in 12th. 13th Ernest Porsche. Sam Baker, Luke Garrett, Brandon Templeton, Jack Sherwood, Lewis Johnston Cool finished in 19th to round out the field. We saw some kind of drama before him. But good win that for Bart Harrison. Let's see our X30 Minis in their final, of course. So that was X30 Minis. Next we're going to have your dual class race of the Junior Max and Mini Max. Here we are then, two classes on track at the same time, remember, in this one, so I will tell you where the break is in the grid. Daniel Parent-Smith is on pole in Junior Max with Henry Green alongside Ben Maxim, and Jensen Watts are on row 2. Row 3 is Joshua Valance and Luke Preston, and then Catherine White and Oliver Martinsky are on row 4. Row 5, and closing up the top 10 is Jack Brand and Daniel Briggs. Tommy Edmund and Ben Casely are on row 6. Row 5 is Joe Linden and Madison Foley. Jessica White, Madison Foley, I told you I was going to tell you where the break was. Madison Foley in 14th is the last of your junior max runners, and then in mini max it's Jessica White and Dan Sawyer, who have one win apiece in the class. So it's Luke Ringley, Linden, and Charlie Ellis and Jensen Giles. So those last 6 runners I mentioned, those are your mini max runners, and then the junior max is everyone up ahead, and they're released on 2 grids. You'll see it in a moment. I always like it. And junior, is that junior max start? Dramatic start there with drivers on the grass. I think that was Joshua Valance being extremely perceptive at the start there. As they head on up to Christmas for the first time. Meanwhile, Minimax gets underway. Jessica White leads them away. Is she going to hold on to it? Yes, she is. You can see Dan Sawyer in the number 12, though, squirreling around the back, trying to find a way. We're back with our Junior Max runners, and there is an attempt of a move. Ben Maxim trying to get past Daniel Parent-Smith in the 12, who was your pole sitter, so there has definitely been a change of lead as the number 11 in Minimax is off. That's Charlie Ellis, who's off the road and rejoins the track, but there's definitely a new leader. Who is it? It's Jensen Watts, ahead of Luke Preston, Daniel Parent-Smith, Ben Maxim, Joshua Valance, Catherine White, Henry Green, Ben Casey, Jack Brand, Daniel Briggs, Madison Foley, Tom Edmonds, and 28 on 99, that is Valance past Maxim through Christmas Corner. He's been running well today, has Josh Valance, and that was another example of it. In Minimax, Dan Sawyer did get past Jessica White, so there was a change for lead there in the first lap as well. Luke Ringham is in 3rd in that class. And then Jensen Giles and Charlie Ellis. I'm not sure where Harry Linden is. I think there's a bit of a transponder issue out there. You can see on the timing tower we've got a few blanks coming through there, so that will have to work itself out. Jensen Watts leads though. Josh Valance, as we saw in the last lap, now up to 4th place, 28 ahead of the 99. He'll now be attacking Daniel Parent-Smith, but Jensen Watts is doing everything he needs to do, as up the inside of Ben Maxim goes Catherine White in the 33 Kart. Nice move there, so that's 2 laps in a row. I'm afraid that Ben Maxim has been overtaken at Christmas Corner. We saw there the Minimax field going through. Just got past Luke Ringham. Those two going through turn 2 there. That's Jensen Giles in the 22. And into the pits is coming Luke Preston. So Luke Preston is having to pull into the pits. He's got kart troubles. You can see the shake of the head, gutting for him. That's not what he wanted at all. Meanwhile, up the inside, that's Catherine White getting past Ben Maxim again, I think. So I think they've been swapping positions somewhat. It is indeed Luke Preston who now falls down the timing, gutting for him. Daniel Parent-Smith here in his yellow and red helmet in the number 12 kart in 2nd place ahead of Josh Valance. Ooh, taking quite different lines there through the boot. But both of them make it work. Then it's Catherine White in 4th. It was Ben Casely we saw getting past Ben Maxim up at Christmas Corner. So Ben Maxim now down to 6th place. And there was the leader we just saw. Into a shot. Here's the battle for 2nd. Dan Parent-Smith and Josh Valance. Catherine White behind them. Ben Casely, and there is the 99 of Ben Maxim. Good battle going on. 2 seconds behind them, Jack Brand in 7th is leading a battle of basically everybody else in this class, in the Junior Max class. As we see 22 of Jensen Giles Charlie Ellis has had to go into the pits as well in number 11, so that's 2 retirements by the looks of it. 1 from each of the classes, I'm sorry to say. That's at the battle for second place. Through Christmas corner they go. And Valence, I think, was trying to set up into Ashby here. He was trying to get the switchback, as we call it, out of the corners, take a later apex. There was a blue flag waving, indeed it was, for Jensen Giles in the 22. In the Minimax machinery. Junior Max is driving quicker machinery, so don't read anything into the fact that they're being lapped, as that's Catherine White and Ben Casely getting side by side, and Ben Casely's got the job done. And has he also gone around Valence? He has. That was very, very opportunistic stuff by Ben Casely there, and he's got himself up to 3rd place. Ben Maxim also got past Josh Valence. Is there any trouble for Valence out there, or did he just get rather out of shape in that? Yeah, he's still running quite comfortably by the look of it. But Tommy Edmonds in the 23 has caught right up to him. So Tommy Edmonds has got to the head of that battle. There he is in the 23. He's got to the head of that battle that I said previously led by Jack Brand, and that's actually closed up to Josh Valence. Just saw Dan Parron-Smith there. He's managed to break away slightly from Ben Casely. And then here is Catherine White defending against Ben Maxim, the 33, defending the 99. Fastest lap of the race from Jensen Watts. We've barely spoken about him. And that's because he's doing such a sterling effort in the lead of this one. You just saw him, though, through a shot. There he is, doing everything he needs to do. Already has 1 heat win on the road today under his belt, if memory serves. And he just set a fastest lap of the race, 46.26. With 2 minutes plus a lap to go. Minimax Dan Sawyer is currently leading against Jessica White, and he's actually 5 seconds to the good in that class, which is one of the larger gaps that we've seen today within the Minimax. So Dan Sawyer won the first heat in that class, with Jessica White winning the second early on. Harry Linden is in 3rd. That transponder issue has sorted itself out, and there is that's Jensen Giles going around in the 22. Wanted to say something's not going well with his kart, or if he was just shaking off his hand. Joshua Valence has had kart issues as well. There was an issue for Valence. Oh goodness me, there's a lot of retirements coming in, and no, indeed it was a problem for Jensen Giles. I thought that was a bit too much hand waving for just shaking out the oh, something's fallen off his kart. Oh, okay, I see. So drama there for Jensen Giles. He duly returns to the pit lane, though. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I can see something's falling off there. Yeah, fair enough, producers, I'm with you. So, unfortunate for one Jensen. Another Jensen, though, Mr. Watts, is still leading this one in the 36 kart. And then you just saw the number 12 and 53 going to shot Daniel Parron-Smith and Ben Casely, who are sort of working together there to try and get onto toes with Jensen Watts, but the gap is 3 seconds. And it's going to be 2 more laps after this one, so I think unless there's a disaster here for Jensen Watts, he is definitely in the pound seats for winning this final heat in the Junior Max class. Final heat, no, not the final race, we've still got all the finals to come. And you're in exactly the right place here on your Alpha Live Productions stream with commentary provided by Double Dash Motorsport Media. Here we are looking at the battle between no, sorry, that was Jessica White we were seeing there. That was Minimax, the 37 of Jessica White. And oh, that's why there's a fantastic battle over second place going on in Minimax. The 21 of Harry Linden and the 37 of Jessica White and the 60 of Luke Ringham. They're having a fantastic battle out there over second place in class, as overall we go on to the last lap. Jensen Watts still doing a brilliant job. Ben Casely's got past Dan Parron-Smith as well on that last time through, so it is all changing towards the last here. There is Ben Casely now ahead of Parron-Smith. And there is the battle for second place. That's Harry Linden, battle for second place in Minimax. So there's Harry Linden and Jessica White and Luke Ringham. But we do need to keep our eye out for the leader here, because Jensen Watts is soon going to be coming around. I think these guys have another lap to run, because I think just behind them was that Jensen Watts just behind them on the road, such that he's going to come across the line, and he has indeed come across the line. Jensen Watts wins. Ben Casely second, Dan Parron-Smith in third, Catherine White fourth, fifth for Ben Maxim. That means the battle for second place in Minimax has pretty much another lap to go, because they didn't get lapped. So Catherine White fourth, Ben Maxim, Tommy Edmonds, Jack Brand, Oliver Martinsky, Joe Linden, Madison Foley, Henry Green and Daniel Briggs. All the junior maxes have crossed the line, but we're waiting for the mini maxes to come through. We expect Dan Sawyer to come through here to take the checkered flag. And there he is. So Dan Sawyer wins in Minimax. Who's going to take second, though? Because that was very close going on to the last lap. Here they come. It looks to me like Harry Linden still got it. He dips his head towards the line. Harry Linden takes second place by just 0.3 of a second from Jessica White and Luke Ringham. That's one of the closest finishes we've seen so far today in the Minimax. I'm glad we were able to show that one. It's difficult to keep across two classes on track at the same time. But Dan Sawyer takes his second heat win in the Minimaxes. Harry Linden second, Jessica White third, and Luke Ringham fourth. I'm afraid Josh Valance, Jensen Giles, Luke Preston and Charlie Ellis all had to pull into the pits with various afflictions affecting their car. Jensen Watts finished the race with the fastest lap of the race. Of course he did. 46.08. Impressive stuff there from Watts. Next up will be the final heat, the third heat for X30 Juniors. There is still barely a cloud in the sky here at Whilton Mill. It's a really, really lovely day. And we are going into X30 Junior Heat 3. So there'll be this, X30 Seniors, and then we will be in the all-important finals. Here's your grid then for Heat 3 and X30 Juniors. Ben Jenkins and Sam Heading will be the front row in this one, with Alexander Johnston and Archie Brown on row 2. Row 3 will be Charlie Field and Rashan Chigarimbo, Ben McDowell and Nathan Clifford on row 4. Row 5 will be Charles Betts and Connor Clifford to round out the top 10. Row 6 will be Joshua McLean and Caden McQueen. And I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Oscar Joyce and Lorenzo Cordell will be row 7. Row 8 will be Carl Dunford and Finley Dunn. Scott Sumpton and Reggie Dewey on row 9. Robbie Stapleford had drums in the last week. 10. Row 11 with Joshua Torpey and Sam Shaw. Lucas Romanek and Kakpa Skuza are on row 12. Row 13 is Daniel Amazigo and Thomas Leben. Christian Brooks and Jensen Buckingham on row 14. Row 15 will be Thomas Mills and Carly Atkins. And then on row 16 will be Jude Fernand, Macy Reed. That's your grid then for Heat 3 in the X30 Juniors. Do keep your comments coming in, folks. I fear I've not been able to feature nearly as many of them as I wanted to, because the action's been coming thick and fast. Such is the nature of the WMKC. I can tell you that we're underway, though, for the X30 Juniors. There we go, picking them up into turn 1, and it was a good start from Ben Jenkins on pole for that one, as he leads them through Oblivion and the Crook. But look at this, the 92 of Rashan Chigarimbo is up to the head of the field, it looked like to me, through Christmas Corner. Had a really good run up the straight there, and everyone's hard on the brakes into Ashby. 2 abreast, 3 abreast, 4 wide, 5 wide. It all seems to work down into Ashby, and they all work their way through. Can't see any dramas, I'm delighted to say. Through the middle part of the lap, I can see, just saw the 99 there, trying to get through, which is Ben Jenkins. So I think our pole sitter has dropped back quite a way, because he got put out wide at Christmas. But it is indeed Rashan Chigarimbo, Nathan Clifford, Sam Heading, Connor Clifford, Alexander Johnston, Caden McQueen, Archie Brown, Charlie Field, Joshua McLean and Ben McDowell, your top 10. as they work up their way up the hill again. This is a battle we just saw there. That was Alexander Johnston in the 48 chasing Connor Clifford in the 14. As through Ashby they go. 42 on the 14 now. So that's Caden McQueen getting past Connor Clifford as well. So I wonder if Connor has actually dropped down 2 positions. And there's Chigarimbo, your leader, with Nathan Clifford all over the back of him as they come around to complete lap number 2. Fastest lap of the race from Caden McQueen. It was indeed Caden and Connor both got past Alexander Johnston on that lap. Look at this though, for the lead of the race, Nathan Clifford in the 18, keeping in touch with Chigarimbo in lap 92. The strategy of sprint racing comes into play here. Do you work together to try and break the toe of everybody else and then worry about battling? Well, behind them, I'm not sure they're going to give them the chance, because there's the 42 of Caden McQueen up the inside of Sam Heading. It was a fairly late move, or it was from fairly far back rather, but he made it work. And now Sam Heading is having to defend against Connor Clifford. And I think he's held on to that. Chigarimbo, Clifford, Nathan Clifford, McQueen, Heading, Connor Clifford, Johnston, McLean, Field and Reggie Dewey now up into the top 10. He's in 9th and Archie Brown in 10th. And who's that? Who was that going very wide? I just saw in turn 2. Forgive me, I was just looking at the gaps on my timing screen when that happened. Chigarimbo now with the close attentions of, well, it's now McQueen. That was as clean as you like through Wilkins. From Caden McQueen, gets past Nathan Clifford. He arrived on this scene and instantly stamped his authority on the situation, and he's going for the lead already. Caden McQueen, take a bow straight to the lead of the race. Fantastic stuff there from Caden McQueen, and he's up 2 places in 1 lap to take the lead of this race. Brilliant stuff from McQueen. Sam Heading just set the fastest lap of the race though, so now he's right onto the back. Look at him in the 51 car at the back of this pack of 4 at the head of the field. So it's all getting quite tasty out there in the X30 Juniors for the final heat of the day. The final chance to determine their grid positions for the final. And there alongside the 92s, Nathan Clifford, he's got through. And in turn, so has gone Sam Heading as well. So now I think it's McQueen, Heading, Clifford, Chigarimbo, I believe. And it's allowed Connor Clifford to get onto the back as well. I'm seeing the 2 Cliffords in that battle. I accept that challenge as a commentator. I reckon I can take it. 2 of the same surname. Caden McQueen, Nathan Clifford, Sam Heading, Rashan Chigarimbo and Connor Clifford all heading up the hill, and up the inside goes Sam Heading and up into 2nd place. Nathan Clifford just tagged the curb slightly there, I think. And then behind them it's Connor Clifford and Chigarimbo. And I think, as the 14 nearly gets out of shape, Connor Clifford has got past Chigarimbo, I think. But I think Chigarimbo's got back past again. All change all the time here, and that's Reggie Dewey coming through as well in the 66. And I think he's just done Joshua McLean and possibly Alexander Johnston as well. Caden McQueen leads, Sam Heading, Nathan Clifford, Rashan Chigarimbo, Connor Clifford, Reggie Dewey is indeed up to 6th ahead of McLean and Johnston. And McLean got past Johnston as well. It's changing all the time here in the X30 Juniors. Through Christmas Corner they go again on lap 7 with 3 minutes plus a lap to go on the clock. Caden McQueen has got a bit of a lead in hand. It's 0.8 of a second. Sam Heading as well is 1 second ahead of Nathan Clifford on this lap. Chigarimbo battling it out here with Connor Clifford, and Reggie Dewey actually has got past Connor Clifford now. Reggie Dewey's got past Chigarimbo. That puts Chigarimbo out wide, and he's going to lose out heavily there. Chigarimbo to Connor Clifford, Joshua McLean, and I think Johnston as well, as there's a warning given to Kak Pascuza out there. Caden McQueen crosses the line again. Sam Heading still in 2nd. Then it's Nathan Clifford, but now Reggie Dewey's got himself up to 4th, and Chigarimbo did indeed drop back to 8th place there. Joshua Torpey has just got himself into the top 10 ahead of Charlie Field as well. And Scusa got past Charles Becks on that last lap as well. I wonder if the warning was in association with how that move was executed. Through Ashby they go, all building quite nicely towards the finish, this, isn't it? Chigarimbo now has the 20 of Lorenzo Caldal all over the back of him. He's going to go up the inside of Ozier's Reggie Dewey has received a warning. He's going to have to be careful here, and he's got past Nathan Clifford now, I can see, for third place. And look at this, Chigarimbo battling still with Cordell through the last corner. They're still side by side. And also getting involved there is Charlie Field, I believe. It was Joshua Torpy getting involved as well. I said he just got himself into the top 10. I can't keep up with this. 92 of Chigarimbo now. I think that's Torpy getting past him there, Christmas corner. And Reggie Dewey is setting some sterling pace at the moment. He is closing the gap to Sam Heading with less than 90 seconds on the clock. We're back with Chigarimbo defending against Cordell. So I think Joshua Torpy has got past both of those drivers recently. In fact, there is Torpy. And now Cordell goes up the inside of Chigarimbo, and going through there, that's going to be Charlie Field, I think, being opportunistic there. Or Sam Shaw, sorry, it might be Samuel Shaw. It is indeed Samuel Shaw in the 16, I thought I saw that. So Sam Shaw now up into the top 10, Chigarimbo drops down to 11th. Now Sam Shaw's going to go past Cordell in Christmas corner, nicely done there. So Samuel Shaw having a fantastic burst of competitiveness here towards the end of this one. Caden McQueen still leads, he's got 3/4 of a second in hand. I think the top three, I'm not sure there's enough time for it to close up quite enough to give us a battle, but never you mind, there's plenty of battling still going on, such as this. This is the 48 of Alexander Johnston defending against the 14 of Connor Clifford for 6th place. We have a quick look at our leaders there. Nathan Clifford and Joshua McLean still close for 4th place. There they are. And here goes Clifford on Johnston. I think he's got the job done, but coming back at him into Ashby goes Alexander Johnston. Fantastic little battle going on here. It's this lap plus another one. So, apologies, that was McLean and Johnston. Switch the... no, it was not Johnston and Clifford. We're on to the last lap. Caden McQueen. Do you know what? The gap's gone down to 0.4 of a second now. Sam Heading is actually quite close to McQueen. And Reggie Dewey as well. Here they are. Caden McQueen in the 42, Sam Heading in the 51. But I think McQueen just has enough in hand here to hang on to this one. Around the final lap of this one, Reggie Dewey looks fairly set on for 3rd. And then Nathan Clifford and Joshua McLean you saw in the background there. And then further down the road is the battle raging between Connor Clifford and Alexander Johnston that we were looking at a moment ago. It has been a brilliant run this from Caden McQueen. He's going to come round the boot now, and he just has to thread it through the last few apexes round Paddock Bend. And Caden McQueen is going to win heat number 3 of the X30 Juniors. Sam Heading will come 2nd. Reggie Dewey comes home in 3rd. Joshua McLean in 4th, with Nathan Clifford in 5th. Connor Clifford in 6th. Alexander Johnston in 7th. And Samuel Shaw had a very good latter part to that race, working his way up. Lorenzo Cordell in 9th, 10th for Joshua Torpy. Then it's Thomas Leben, Rashan Chigarimbo, Kat Bascuza, Callie Atkins, Charlie Field, Charles Betts, Scott Sumton, Finley Dunn, Daniel Amazigo, Lucas Romanek, Ben McDowell, Thomas Mills, Ben Jenkins, Christian Brooks, Kyle Dunford, Oliver Henwood, Oscar Joyce, Jude Fernerhoff, Mason Reeve and Jensen Buckingham. Archie Brown has not crossed the line, so I think he ran into some form of drama there. So that's it for heat running in the juniors, and now we have, coming up next, our final heat of the day before the all-important finals. Next up is going to be the X30 Seniors. Your grid then for the final heat race of the day before the finals. Harry Little will start this one with Axel Laflamme alongside Dan Sienger and Derek Morgan on row 2. Row 3 is Tom Pryor and Brandon Matchell. Caelan Burbridge and Caleb Marshall on row 4. Row 5 is going to be Nathan Amos and Archie Garlick, Liam Ferguson and Jamie Rogers, Travis Mitchell and Brandon Haig. So I'm going ahead of the graphic there, sorry. And then on row 8 is going to be Nathan Herbert and Charlie Koschel. On row 9 is going to be Louis Short and Thomas Byrne. And then it'll be Nat Thomas and Matt Armstrong. Row 11 is going to be Thomas Pegram and Thomas Hankins. Harry Torpey and Luke Whitehead will be on row 12. Row 13 is Joseph Ahrens and Nathan Phillips. And then it'll be Mason Weir and Paul Alexander on row 14. Rounding out the 29 kart grid is Yusuf Soahajono. And I think we're just waiting for the car. Oh, we're not waiting at all. Here they come onto track. Out onto the still gloriously sunny Whilton Mill circuit. Working their way through Oblivion, then the Crook. Then there's that kink in the straight up to Christmas Corner. That kink, that's actually called a corner. That's got a corner name. It's called Fine Lady. Apparently that's your nerdy. That's definitely the pub quiz question of Whilton Mill. What's turn 3 called? Most people would say Christmas, but actually that kink in the straight there counts as a corner. I haven't given a corner name, sorry. So this is X30 Seniors, the last heat of the day. Harry Little in the 18 there, the dark blue kart, with Axel Laflamme in the 57. Dan Seeger and Derek Morgan on row 2. Tom Pryor, Brandon Matchell, Burbridge and Marshall, Amos and Garner. Top 10. And Harry Little leads them away, and it's a good start from the pole side, and I think Dan Seeger may have capitalised on that and got past Laflamme as well there. That seemed like a very good start from the left side of the grid. But it's Harry Little either way who leads up. Indeed, Daniel Seeger has got himself into second place. Laflamme's going to try and get the switch back. Are they all through cleanly? Some of them go 3x3, 4x4 even through Christmas Corner, but they all get the job done. Laflamme is desperately trying to get back his second place, though. You can see there. I think Derek Morgan has held on for fourth. 3 wide into Wilkins won't work, though, and there's a bit of contact there. Back there amongst Caelan Burbridge was the 32 kart on the outside. It may have been Caleb Marshall who's on the inside. I didn't catch which number that was. They all go through the boot for the first time. And there's a bit of argy-bargy for lap 1, but I'm delighted to say everyone got through cleanly and facing the right way. So on to lap 2 they go, and it is Harry Little who's been able to hold on to his pole position. Through the top part of the circuit they go. Axel Laflamme was able to get his second place back from Dan Seeger. So he's now challenging for the lead, and he's going to go straight for it into Wilkins. Beautifully done by Axel Laflamme. But surely Harry Little will try and get back. No, he can't do it. And meanwhile, behind them, Derek Morgan is challenging Seeger. And I think he may have got the job done there. Meanwhile, behind them, this is Matchell, Pryor and Marshall battling away. And I think Pryor's got to the back of that. Axel Laflamme now leads. Harry Little second. Derek Morgan third. Daniel Seeger fourth. And it's Brandon Matchell. Caleb Marshall was the one getting involved with Tom Pryor there. And look at this. This is Derek Morgan up the inside of Harry Little at Christmas Corner. So now Derek Morgan gets himself to second in the field. Now try and get onto terms with Axel Laflamme. Plenty of this race still to go. 6 minutes left on the clock. And he's taking everyone. I can feel that Little is Derek Morgan, sorry, is taking all of them with him. They're all going to close up on Axel Laflamme. We're going to work together, at least one would have thought, to try and get onto terms here. There's the 13 of Tom Pryor, now up into 5th ahead of Caleb Marshall. There he is. And then behind them, Liam Ferguson leads a tremendous battle, which pretty much goes all the way to the back of the field, to be perfectly frank. Through the top part of the circuit, down into Ashby they come. Laflamme, Morgan, Little, the 57, the 9 and the 18. Further back in the field, we've got some nice little overtakes going now. I think that might have been Harry Torpin trying to put a move on into Ashby. Seeger, 53, now onto the back of Harry Little, and he's brought Brandon Matchell along to the party as well. As they come round to start lap number 5. Tom Pryor and Caleb Marshall closing up as well. Nathan Herbert has got past Liam Ferguson at the head of that battle from 8th downwards now. Fastest lap of the race currently with Luke Whitehead, who of course has finished first on the road for a few of his finals. And up the inside there was that Brandon Marshall on Seeger. Yes, it was. Brandon Marshall gets past Seeger through Ashby. That's a change for 4th place. And here, side by side, this is Tom Pryor and Caleb Marshall. Caleb Marshall gets the job done. Will Pryor be able to come back at him at all? No, he slots into place and is going to bide his time to try and get that one back. As they come through onto a new lap. Lap times dropping throughout the field. Brandon Haig now has the fastest lap of the race, a 45.16, as they come through Oblivion and the Crook. Such a fun set of corners to go through. And look at this. That's Harry Torpy getting past Thomas Pegram. That's the 15th place. And is Pegram going to try and get that? No, that's behind them. Is that Matt Armstrong getting involved? Charlie Cottrell as well in that pack. As the leaders come through. Axel Laflamme still leading this one. The gap is 3.5 tenths of a second back to Derek Morgan. Currently they're setting pretty much identical pace. There's only 0.02 of a second difference between them on that last lap, but he can't rest on his laurels at all, can he? Because Morgan is right there with him. Brandon Matchell and Dan Seeger here in the 28 and the 53. That battle's not settled yet either, so there's still plenty to come here. Into Oblivion, through the Crook, right on the very limit to get as good a run as possible up the hill towards Christmas. And you can see that battle over 7th place has now caught up to the back of Brandon Matchell and Caleb Marshall. So now it's Matchell, Marshall and Tom Pryor all quite close together on track. So it's now all closed up. A dive there from the 74 of Thomas Byrne. I think he was trying to get past Lee Short. I think that he was trying to get past. That would be over 12th place. Back with the battle for 4th place. This is Daniel Seeger and Brandon Marshall. Contact warning for Jamie Rogers in the number 69. And the two leaders have broken away slightly here. It's Axel Laflamme by 0.3 from Derek Morgan, and they're now nearly 1.5 seconds up the road from Harry Little. So the top two breaking away here, and just feel Derek Morgan keeping his powder dry. And I've used that phrase a lot today, but it really does describe well how they work their sprint strategies here. Oh, and that's problems there for the number 46 of Mason Weir. To the back straight they go. This is still Seeger and Matchell. Battle over 4th place. Don't forget Caleb Marshall in the 64 right behind them as well. There are your leaders, you just went through shot, and then there's Harry Little, then Dan Seeger, Matchell and Marshall. The battle is actually turning into basically a 4-kart battle over 3rd from Harry Little downwards, because Harry Little, Dan Seeger, Matchell and Marshall close on the track. And Liam Ferguson has got back to the head of the crazy battle over 7th. He's in 7th now again, ahead of Nathan Herbert, Brandon Haig, and Luke Whitehead has just got past Tom Pryor to get back into the top 10. So here it is. Okay, maybe not quite a 4-horse race for 3rd, or a 3-horse race for 4th. Seeger, Matchell and Marshall. 2 more laps to go in this one. There are the leaders still, and this is the time when if Derek Morgan wanted to spring his trap, this is when he needs to start to think about it. He does very well to keep Axel Laflamme in check. Harry Littleton has done well as well, with the clock hit 0 to stay in third. He's just managing to keep himself ahead of that Dan Seeger, Brandon Matchell, Kenneth Marshall battle. Just goes into shot there, and there was a move we just saw. That was Nathan Herbert up the inside of Liam Ferguson again, was it? And look at this, up the inside of Matchell goes Caleb Marshall. So there you go, that's the opening gambit of the end game of this race, if you will. I'm moving around sports quite a bit here with my analogies, aren't I? But that's how you do sprint race strategy. You pounce towards the end. Speaking of which, we're on the last lap. Has Derek Morgan got anything left to give to take on Axel Laflamme here? Or will he settle for the points of second? Oh, there's a driver out there. I think that's Paul Alexander, who's dropped back. As our leaders come on to the back straight, Axel Laflamme has the advantage. Meanwhile, Seeger's having to go defensive over 4th place, but Axel Laflamme is going to come round paddock corner to take the win in heat number 3. It's going to be close. No, it's not. It's Derek Morgan by 1.4 tenths of a second at the last. Oh my goodness me. Just at the very end there, Derek Morgan manages to get through in the boot section, I think it was, and they were so close towards the line. Derek Morgan, well, that is how you do sprint racing strategy, ladies and gentlemen. Till the very end. Bide your time. Derek Morgan takes the win ahead of Axel Laflamme. Harry Little finishes 3rd, held on to that position well. Dan Seeger managed to hold on to 4th after a race-long battle with Brandon Matchell and Caleb Marshall. Luke Whitehead finally got the bragging rights in that mad battle pack for 7th place. Liam Ferguson in 8th. Brandon Haig in 9th. 10th for Thomas Byrne. Nathan Herbert in 11th. And it was Thomas Pegram, Tom Pryor, Matt Armstrong, Louis Short, Harry Torpey, Jamie Rogers, Nat Thomas, Archie Garlick, Nathan Amos in 20th place. Travis Mitchell in 21st. Joseph Ahrens in 22nd, 23rd for Caelan Burbridge. Thomas Hankins in 24th, and it was Nathan Peters, Yusuf Soahajono, Paul Alexander, and it was actually Charlie Koshel we saw having issues on the penultimate lap, and Mason Weir we saw retiring earlier on. Well, that's all the heats done. Next up we have the B final for the Honda Cadets. That's the only class that's big enough that it needs 2 finals, so we will be back in just a moment with the B final for Honda Cadets. You're watching your Alpha Live Productions live stream of round 3 of the 2019 Whilton Mill Kart Club Championships. My name is Howard Mitchell of Double Dash Motorsport Media, and we are entering the finals for the day. This is the B final for Honda Cadets. It's the one class that has 2 finals, such as the size of the grid we have in that class. Macy Hitter is going to start this one from pole with Thomas Behrman alongside. Aidan Mitchell and Harley Mason will make up row 2. Kenzo Craigie and Ralph Youngling will be on row 3. Row 4 will be Reg Hayward and Jacob Anslow. And row 5 will be Alfie Richards and Sonny Mortensen. Anastasia Diner and Holly Mile will be on row 6. Then it will be Charlie Mills and Harrison Morrow. And Liam Dorman, who's had a tough few heats. He had 2 heats that basically did not go his way. He will start from 15th on the grid. Going to be a standing start, remember, for Honda Cadets. And I'm quite glad. I always like us being able to show a B final because it gives us a chance to, you know, there's always so much going on in these races that we kind of often have to focus on sort of the top half of the field. So this race will give us a chance to focus on some of the drivers who maybe we haven't had a chance to give as much of a mention to 15 karts on this grid. More points on offer in the finals, of course. You can see Macy Hitter there, the orange, black and fluorescent yellow helmet there on pole. It's going to be eyes on the lights. Engine notes rise. And we're away for the B final in Honda Cadets. It's a good start from Thomas Behrman in second, but I think Macy Hitter has been able... No, it was Behrman who's got to the head of the field here. And there you can see the 14 of Aidan Mitchell challenging Macy Hitter as they go through Christmas for the first time. Through Inkerman and down into Ashby. Go our Honda Cadets. But Behrman it is who's got to the head of the field. The 63 there of Harley Mason looks to have held on to fourth place, as has Kenzo Craigie, held on to fifth behind as they come into the boot for the first time. And is that Jacob Anslow, I think, having a battle there as well. Coming around to finish this first lap then. It is indeed Thomas Behrman who leads. Macy Hitter in second, Aidan Mitchell in third, Harley Mason fourth, and it's Kenzo Craigie, Ralph Youngling, Anastasia Diner has had a good start, Reg Hayward, Alfie Richards, Sonny Mortensen, and Jacob Anslow. We're looking here at Harley Mason all over the back of Aidan Mitchell in the battle over third place, and then we cut to our leaders there. So a breakaway pack of four. Mitchell goes very defensive against Harley Mason into Ashby. Is that so defensive that he's going to compromise himself side by side heading towards Wilkins, but he's been able to hold on there. But can he hold on into Oziers? Up the inside goes Harley Mason. Nice move there, change for third place, and Harley Mason gets himself up to third place on the road. But that battle has allowed Thomas Behrman and Macy Hitter to get on up the road, so the top four breakaway pack have paired up effectively. Battle for first and a battle for third. Long way to go though, still of course. And that Kenzo Craigie, it is. Kenzo Craigie's run into some sort of difficulty out there. Looks to be back up to speed, but some drama has befallen him. And look at this, Aidan Mitchell looking to get past Harley Mason over that third place. Nothing on there. Macy Hitter playing good strategy there behind Behrman, just trying to stay with him. Behrman set a 55.58 last lap. That's the fastest lap of the race. But Hitter being able to keep with him, certainly right on his tail. There you just saw Reg Hayward, currently running in fifth. Saw him briefly. We're back with our leaders though. Thomas Behrman and Macy Hitter coming into paddock corner. High speed corner, important to get it right to lead you on to the next lap. Through Oblivion and the Crook they go. Through Fine Lady, up the hill towards Christmas Quarter. Uphill braking, can stomp on the brakes nice and late into that one. Down into Ashby, they all hold station for now. There you can see in the background the battle between Reg Hayward and Ralph Youngling, I think it is. Over fifth now because Youngling got past Anastasia Diner on the last lap. All very close though. You could just saw that pack flash in the back of your shot then. It's all very close in the mid pack in this field at the moment. Oh, and goes wide there. Behrman goes wide slightly, opens the door for Macy Hitter. There's a little bit of a hit, but through goes Hitter to the lead of this race. Change of lead then as they go on to lap 5. Macy Hitter is now at the head of this field. We were behind them. Battle resumed for third place. Aidan Mitchell through on Harley Mason as well. Nice clean move there. But you know what? They have closed up. That battling for the lead has caused the third place battle to close up. There's the fifth place battle of Reg Hayward and Ralph Youngling, and then a little bit behind them by a second is Sonny Mortensen, leading literally everybody else in the field. Kenzo Craigie still trying to catch up. Aidan Mitchell is back past Harley Mason then in the battle over third place as they go through the boot once again. Macy Hitter leads. Thomas Behrman second, Aidan Mitchell third, Harley Mason in fourth. Reg Hayward has lost out to Ralph Youngling on that, so the battle over fifth has now changed hands. You'll see that coming in. So that's now Ralph Youngling ahead of Reg Hayward, and then Sonny Mortensen has got right onto the back of them in the 61 there. And then it's Anastasia Diner, Alfie Richards, Jacob Anslow, Holly Mile, Harrison Morrow, all of them close together. And actually Kenzo Craigie has been able to catch up to the back of them after his early drama. So it's all closing up throughout the field here. We are looking at Aidan Mitchell still. No, we weren't, sorry. We were looking at Ralph Youngling, I think, there briefly. Back with our leaders, though. 2.5 minutes on the clock. This is the one final that's 8 minutes plus a lap. All the other finals will be 12 minutes plus a lap, which is good news for all of you and bad news for my voice box. But up the hill they come. Macy Hitter towards Christmas Corner. Round the leaders go. Holding station for now. This is the calm I was talking about earlier today. Just all gets that little bit calm before we go into the final part of the lap. And they head down into Osiers. It's all changed for fifth place, by the way. We've got to keep an eye on it. Reg Hayward got past, and Sonny Mortensen got past Ralph Youngling on that last lap as well, so that one's not decided yet either. Anastasia Diner staying with them as well. Alfie Richards, Jacob Anslow. Kenzo Craigie has not only caught up with the pack, but he's overtaken Harrison Morrow and Holly Mile as we head into the closing stages of this B final for the Honda Cadets. Don't forget, this isn't the last of the Honda Cadets we'll see. As you can see there, Anslow and Craigie having a good battle there. You saw the 28 and the 66 coming through your shot. Coming through turn 2. Just see the mid-pack battle there going through. Oh, and round has gone, and that's Harley Mason. That's Harley Mason. Round from fourth was challenging Aidan Mitchell in that race-long battle for third and has spun it round. That's gutting for Aidan, and unfortunately, given the close-quarter nature of this field, that's put him very much towards the back. Well, there was though that was a genuine. That all looked like a genuine racing incident to me. Just caught the curb, was it, or the back of? Oh no, what? Yes, or the back of Aidan Mitchell's car, and that was enough to send Harley Mason around. So Harley Mason drops down to 9th. We're going to get a replay of it here. So Harley Mason. No, there was no contact. Sorry, that was just losing it on the curb there for Harley Mason. Well, I'm sure Harley will be disappointed, but all these drivers, of course, very young at the start of their karting careers, very much. This is where they cut their teeth and learn their craft. I'm sure he shall learn from the experience, and he's still going to pick up some points in 9th place. And the clock has got to 0, so we are now on the last lap. Macy Hitter still in the lead of this one. Still can't rest, though, because Thomas Behrman is right there in 2nd place. Through Christmas Corner they do, but I think Macy's doing enough. Through Inkermans. Going to be downhill braking into Ashby. Aidan Mitchell there. Harley Mason now no longer a factor. It was in this spot a couple of laps ago that the spin occurred. But Macy Hitter it was not a light to flag, even though she was the pole sitter. Is now going to come round to take the win. Macy Hitter wins the B final in the Honda Cadets. Thomas Behrman finishes 2nd. Aidan Mitchell finishes 3rd. Reg Hayward, we expect to come round to finish 4th, although that's by no means guaranteed. It's been very close quarters. Actually, he's got a bit of clean air, so there comes Reg Hayward through. And then there's a close finish for 5th place between Sonny Mortensen and Ralph Youngling. Harley Mason recovers to 7th. Commiserations to him with that spin. Anastasia Diner finishes 8th, 9th for Alfie Richards. Kenzo Craigie finishes 10th, 11th for Jacob Anslow. Holly Mial finishes 12th, and then Harrison Morrow finishes in 13th. All still very close. You know what? It was only 1.5 tenths of a second that separated the last two spots. So there's always somebody for you to race here in the WMKC. That was the B final, and now we're going to get ready. Congratulations to Macy Hitter on a good win. Now we get ready for the A final. Well, the final. It's only an A final in the context of Honda Cadets. We get into the finals of all the rest of our classes. The first of which will be, as the Honda Cadets recover to the pits, the I-Army Cadets. Two heat wins in this class put Kian Nakamura-Berta as your pole sitter for this one. Vinnie Phillips will start alongside Macaulay Bishop and Maximus Hall are on row 2. Then it'll be row 3 for Archie Clark and Ella Stevens. Ben Folland and Leo Purchase on row 4. Row 5 will be Aidan Neat and Mason Bishop. On row 6 we will find, I don't want to get ahead of the graphics, spoiler alerts, Cian Geraghty. There he is, Cian Geraghty and Mason Rudman on row 6. Row 7 is Alfie Garford and Cathal Clark. Ben Crossley and Archie Heron on row 8. Row 9 is Alexander Senna and Alfie Slater. Eden Spanswick and George Edgar round out the top 20. 11th on the grid, Michael Walker and Freddie Allen. Kai Semi and Jack Mowat are on row 12. Row 13 is Ryan Gill and Sebastian Mins. And then it's Laith Khan rounding out the 27 karts. Now, here we're going to have, of course, so the heats were sort of random grids, and so you've got a lot of moving about. Now we're going to have the top racers in this field right from the get-go. Nakamura-Berta has been extremely impressive in both the Honda Cadets and the I-Army Cadets that he's raced in today. But make no mistake about it, Vinnie Phillips, Macaulay Bishop, Maximus Hall, Archie Clark, all of them, they're all where they are on merit. So this is going to be one to watch all the races. 12 minutes on the clock, not 8. 12 minutes plus 1 lap. And away we go in the final. Nakamura-Berta leads them away. Is he going to be able to hold on to it? Yes, he is. Look at Macaulay Bishop there, trying to go around the outside of Vinnie Phillips into turn 2. And I think he's got the job done. Indeed, he has. But Vinnie Phillips is on the inside going defensive against Maximus Hall. And they're all in and they've both got past. Well, no, Vinnie Phillips has got back past Macaulay Bishop. But Macaulay Bishop sides in between the two of Phillips and Maximus Hall. Nakamura-Berta gets away well. The 43 of Archie Clark is on the move though as well. He now tries up the inside and he's going to put the 82 of Ben Folland on the grass a little bit there, I think, as they work their way through Wilkins and Oziers for the first time. Nakamura-Berta though has got a clear march on the field here in the early phases. Can Vinnie Phillips get up to the back of him? And this is the thing, those second, third and fourth, Phillips, Hall and Bishop, or Phillips, Bishop and Hall indeed as the order is currently, I think they're going to have to work together here if they're going to get onto terms with Nakamura-Berta. Given the nature of what Kian's been able to do so far today, you have to work together here, that longer race. The 43 of Archie Clark has retained 5th. Aidan Neat has got up to 6th place. Ella Stevens in 7th. 8th is Ben Folland. Then it's Mason Rudman and Leo Purchase to round out the top 10. Working their way down there. I can see that looked like, was that Mason Rudman trying to get past Ben Folland there? I saw into Ashby. Onto the back straight. They come then for the second time. And this is the thing. I think you're going to see, Macaulay Bishop very close to the back of Vinnie Phillips, but not necessarily going for a pass there. And I think they're wise to this idea that they have to try and close this gap to Nakamura-Berta. Archie Clark now coming under pressure from Aidan Neat for 5th place, you can see there. Ben Folland did get past Ella Stevens as well. 82 past the 28 for 7th place. And Cathal Clark got past Alexander Senna and Eden Spanswick, 14th on that lap as well. So good lap for Cathal. Up the top of the hill then, our leaders come through Ashby. This then is the battle for second, but as I say, I'm very sceptical about calling it a battle because at the moment I think they're all going to work together here. Although no, there's been a change. Hang on, Macaulay Bishop is ahead. Something's happened to Vinnie Phillips because both Macaulay Bishop and Maximus Hall are up past him now, so change there. Okay, they're not working together. Or maybe maybe Vinnie Phillips got out of shape somewhere. Kian Nakamura-Berta sets the fastest lap of the race, though, 53.6. It is indeed Macaulay Bishop now up into second. Maximus Hall, in third, and Vinnie Phillips in fourth as they work their way through the top of the hill. Battle for fifth. Aidan Neat in the back of shot you just saw. Aidan Neat did get past Archie Clark as well, so change of position behind these three runners. As there's a contact warning for Maximus Hall. Was that related? Is that how Vinnie got demoted down 2 spots on the previous lap? There you can see Aidan Neat has got past Archie Clark, and they're now going to work together, I think, to get onto terms with these three. So there's your top 6. You just saw all briefly in one shot at once. Kian Nakamura-Berta, Macaulay Bishop, Maximus Hall, Vinnie Phillips, Aidan Neat and Archie Clark, and then it's a 3-second gap, back to Ben Folland, who's leading Leo Purchase, Cian Geraghty and Mason Rudman. Cathal Clark is still on the move, he's just got past Ella Stevens for 11th. So good race so far for Cathal. Through the top of the hill, and actually Macaulay Bishop did reel in Nakamura-Berta a little bit on that last lap. Down the back straight they come. As the whole field works their way onto the back straight. And we're going to see, are we going to try and pick up the leaders as they come through? No, we're not. Oh, there we go. There we go. That was Archie Clark just on the back of Aidan Neat there. 5 versus the 43 over 5th place. Cathal Clark continues to be on the move here. On a charge, here is Clark. Up to 9th now, past Mason Rudman and Cian Geraghty. Fantastic stuff. Look out for the number 11 here, because Cathal is on a charge. As I say, I think these drivers are still working together here. Hence why they're holding station. Hence why it's all quite calm at the moment. Still battles going on in the mid-pack though. Nakamura-Berta, Macaulay Bishop, Maximus Hall, Vinnie Phillips, Aidan Neat, Archie Clark. I wonder if we'll stay long enough with this shot to see the rest of the pack coming through. There's Ben Folland, Leo Purchase, and there's Mason Rudman now back past Cathal Clark, Cian Geraghty, Ella Stevens, Ben Crossley. They're having a battle at the moment. And then towards the back there, all the way down to Kai Semi, then Leif Khan, Freddie Allen, Ryan Gill, Jack Mowat. Both Gill and Mowat are a little way off the back, so I think they have run into some form of drama. 6 minutes to go though, and we're back with the battle over second place, Macaulay Bishop. Now when I say they are reeling in Nakamura-Berta, they are by some 400ths of a second per lap. Nakamura-Berta, I think, is just playing this wise. What's the old saying? Win the race at the slowest pace possible. I feel like if they manage to close in, although no, Macaulay Bishop closed the gap by 0.3 of a second there, so Nakamura-Berta does need to be wise to this. But I think this working together between the 2nd, 3rd and 4th placed Bishop, Hall and Phillips is working here. Aidan Neat and Archie Clark are trying to get onto the back of this. They're not currently reeling in this pack quite to the same extent, but they are definitely, I think, working together for now. As we enter the 5-minute mark, there'll be another lap added on, just as with the heats when that clock reaches 0. So the question will be, actually, Archie Clark has got just a little bit off the back of Aidan Neat. Nakamura Berta dipping his head, shrimping when you do that in karting, try and get any aerodynamic advantage. These drivers know how to do it properly. I did that once, and has the disadvantage that you can't look straight ahead, so I managed to crash. But that's me. These drivers are much better at it than I am. That's Leo Purchase in the 75, and he's got past Ben Folland. So 75 now ahead of 82. This is in the battle for 7th place. Goes defensive into Osiers. Back to the leaders. Paulie Bishop in 2nd. Maximus Hall in that number 6 kart in the 7 of Vinnie Phillips. Aidan Neat and Archie Clark just running a quiet one at the moment. But rest assured, this won't stay quiet. Do bear that one in mind. There are trophies on offer here. And every driver wants to have success in these maximum points in the championship. Still a long way to go here. We're only in round 3, but you've got to have consistently good results here. Nakamura Berta running brilliantly here. Round they come, on to lap 11. And don't forget, this won't be the only final we see Nakamura Berta in. He'll be in the Honda Cadets final later on. It's worth saying that this is the first appearance this year in the W1KC for Nakamura Berta. So from a championship point of view, he's not in the lead. He's not at the moment, at least. He's about to make himself very much a factor, but it's Maximus Hall who led this going into today, with Macaulay Bishop in 2nd. And look at this, there's change there. Vinnie Phillips has got past Maximus Hall, just as I was saying that. Change there for 3rd place. So after laps of staying in line, finally there's a move made with 2 minutes left on the clock. Vinnie Phillips has gone past Maximus Hall. Leo Purchase in that crazy battle group over 7th. That feels like not the first time I've said that. 7th seems to be the popular place for a battle to develop. Leo Purchase has just got past, oh, we saw Purchase getting past Folland, didn't we, in the battle that they were having. Through onto the back straight then goes the now 3rd placed Vinnie Phillips with Maximus Hall. Nakamura Berta, you know what? Macaulay Bishop is doing a great job of keeping Nakamura Berta honest at the head of this one. The gap is still below a 2nd. Further back, that is the 73 of King Geraghty getting past the 15 of Mason Rudman, but Rudman, he comes back at him through the latter part of the boot. Lovely stuff there. We cut back to the battle over 3rd place. So here's your top 4. Nakamura Berta, Macaulay Bishop, Vinnie Phillips, Maximus Hall, Aidan Neat and Archie Clark, you saw as well in the background of the shot. 45 seconds plus a lap to go. This is the point where if you're going to pounce, you need to start thinking about it. I don't think Macaulay Bishop, you know, I feel like Nakamura Berta has the pace just to keep everything under control. There you can see, in fact, the gap has now gone out to a 2nd. So, if you're Maximus Hall, do you work with Vinnie Phillips to get onto the back of Macaulay Bishop? At what point do you give up on that plan and just focus on getting 3rd place up of Vinnie Phillips? These are the kind of questions that the drivers need to be asking themselves at this late stage of the race. Something happened to Archie Clark, by the way. He didn't cover it, but I've noticed he isn't in the back of shot so much. He dropped 10 seconds. He's still comfortably in 6th place, ahead of that 7th place battle, which now Ben Folden's got back past Leo Purchase. I feel like they're doing that every lap at the moment, so fantastic battle going on over 7th place. Kean Geraghty and Ellis Stevens have just got past Mason Rudman in that battle group as well. Cathal Clark still featuring well in 9th. So plenty of battles going on in the mid-pack as we are on the last lap here. There, just through your shot came Kian Nakamura Berta. He just has to keep things together as he's done so well throughout today. But now look how it has closed up for 2nd place. That's not decided at all. Macaulay Bishop in the latter phase is coming under some pressure here. You feel like someone's going to try something. And there goes Vinnie Phillips. Looks to the inside, looks to driver's left, both to attack and to defend. Is that going to compromise me into Osiers? Is that going to give Maximus Hall an opportunity? No, it doesn't. It's As You Were coming onto the back straight. Kian Nakamura Berta is going to come round, surely, round the boot to finish this one and win the A final in IAME Cadets. Who's going to get 2nd? Does Maximus Hall have anything to come yet? No, he doesn't. It's going to be Kian Nakamura Berta, waves his hands in the air in celebration, wins the IAME Cadets class for round 3 of the 2019 WMKC Championships. Macaulay Bishop finishes 2nd, Vinnie Phillips finishes 3rd, 4th for Maximus Hall, 5th for Aidan Neat. Archie Clark finishes well in 6th place, and Ben Follen did win all of that battling for 7th place. Leo Purchase takes 8th, Cathal Clark in 9th, Kian Geraghty in 10th, Ella Stevens in 11th, Ben Crosley in 12th, 13th for Alfie Garfield. Mason Rubin dropped a little bit on that last lap but finishes in 14th. Alexander Senna in 15th, 16th for Sebastian Mins. Mason Bishop in 17th, 18th for Michael Walker. George Edgar in 19th, 23rd in Spanswick, and it was Archie Heron, Alfie Slater, Kai Semi, Laith Khan, Freddie Allen, Ryan Gill and Jack Mowat. Well, what a brilliant victory that was for Kian Nakamura Berta. He's had a fantastic day, and it's not necessarily the last final that he could go on to win here, because he will feature in the Honda Cadets A final. Good points on the board in the championship for Macaulay Bishop as well in 2nd, and Maximus Hall doing well in 4th. We'll have to wait and see if that's enough for him to retain the lead of the championship. But that was your IAME Cadets. Next is going to be X30 Minis. X30 Minis then. Theo Mykoris, unsurprising to see him there. He's been very strong today. Well, we're at the front of the A final in X30 Minis. Everyone's been strong who's near the front of this one. Bart Harrison getting that win in the last heat of the day. Alfie Briggs is on 3rd. Bradley Beavers in 4th. Sat in 2nd in the championship in this class coming into today. What can he do from 4th on the grid? Gabriel Stilt has a good day. Antonis Sofronio in 6th, 7th for Jack Cox, 8th will be Leo Brown. Row 5 is going to be Sam Baker and Alfie Baxter Davies. On row 6 we find Jessica Edgar and Brandon Templeton. I promise. There we go. There we go. Ellis Borshire and Aidan Line are on row 7. Row 8 is going to be Finlay Harrison and Jack Sherwood. Lewis Johnston Cool and Harry Pears will be on row 9, and then rounding out the grid will be Luke Garlick. That's your X30 Mini finals grid. I'll say finals and A finals interchangeably. It is only the Honda Cadets that have an A final and a B final. But here we go, the big points on offer for the X30 Minis here. Now coming into today, just to set the scene from a championship perspective, because this is where the big points are on offer. It's 36 points for a heat win in the races we've seen earlier today, and 60 points for the finals win. Theo Mykoris leads this championship. Bradley Beavers was in 2nd coming into today, and Alfie Briggs was in 3rd. Ellis Borshire 4th. So that's some of the key protagonists in this year's championship, at least in the early phases of the season, as we await the drivers to come out onto track. Again, this will be 12 minutes plus 1 lap. Do you know what? I'm gonna beam a comment onto that. I know I haven't done it all day. I'm gonna beam a comment. Okay, and that put an interesting graphic on the screen. Sorry, producers. I just sprung that surprise on them. That's a comment from Joe Folland saying, brilliant drive by Ben Folland. I agree. Did really well in that battle over 7th place. In that race, it was a furious battle for 7th place, and eventually came through there. I'm being told, try it now. Let's do that. There you go. That's the format. Comment coming in on Facebook from Joe Folland. I'm sorry, everyone, that we haven't been able to keep across the comments. It's just, as you can appreciate, the classes are coming thick and fast here. But I do try and take a look at the comments as and when I can. Hello to all of you who are watching via YouTube. If you aren't subscribed to Alpha Live, make sure you are. And even if you're not watching it via YouTube, head on over there, because it's a great place to catch up with everything that Alpha Live are doing. But having said that, also give them a like on Facebook, because that's where you can find out all about that sort of stuff. Also, cheaply put the page I'm associated with again, Double Dash Motorsport Media, myself and Andrew Mather. For those of you who've been following the season so far, Andrew Mather, who did rounds 1 and 2 of the championship this year, we're Double Dash Motorsport Media. Get on our page and give us a like. There's Stu Stretton, the photographer. Follow him as well. He's awesome as well. Just get on the social media. There's loads and loads of ways to follow everything that's going on around WMKC. Also give the WMKC a like if you haven't already. I'm guessing you have though, right? So there's Theo Mykuris getting to the head of this grid. Bart Harrison in the 27 already alongside. I'll just remind you of the first 3 rows. Alfie Briggs and Bradley Beavers on row 2. Gabriel Stilpen and Antonis Sofroniou on row 3. And the engine notes rise, and we're away for the final in the X30 Minis. Mykuris gets away well, as does Alfie Briggs. It was a good start for the pole side of the grid, and Alfie Briggs has got himself up to second, but he's immediately under pressure again from Bart Harrison. Is that Sofroniou? Oh, and there's drama at the back. The 59 is off, as is the 24. That is Brandon Templeton and Lewis Johnston-Cool, who have gone off there. I think they're both going to be able to recover, though, and carry on. Or has the 24 got damage to the nose? Yes, that is damage to Brandon Templeton's kart. That's rather skew-if, I'm afraid. So drama up a Christmas corner. But Mykuris it is who's been able to hold on to the lead. Bart Harrison has been able to... Oh, no, that's not Bart Harrison. That's Bradley Beavers in the 29. Good start for Bradley Beavers from grid 4. So first and second in the championship coming into today are now first and second on the road in the final. Alfie Briggs is up to third as well, which means it is the top 3 in the championship, in the top 3 of this race, with Bart Harrison trying to keep with them. There it is, Mykuris, Beavers, Briggs and Harrison. Antonis Sofroniou is in 5th, so he's able to gain as well. Jack Cogs, Gabriel Stilp, Alfie Baxter Davis, Leo Brown and Jessica Edgar round out the top 10. Here though is, Bart Harrison's got past Alfie Briggs, 27 ahead of 47, so change of position there for 3rd place. Bart Harrison into 3rd place as they come round to start another lap. And Bart Harrison did that partially because he just set the fastest lap of the race. Theo Mykuris in the 74 lead, Bradley Beavers in the 29 second, Bart Harrison in the 27, Alfie Briggs in the 47, and Sofroniou in the 5th place, number 76 kart behind them. Not a lot of field spread apart from those. Was anyone else involved in drama on that first lap? Finlay Harrison had a slow couple of laps to start with, and it was Templeton and Johnston-Cool who were involved in those incidents. But I don't think Templeton's had to go into the pits yet. Doesn't look like he has on timing. Bart Harrison has got by Bradley Beavers. Yes, he has. Every time I look away to look at somebody else, Bart Harrison's on the move. So the 27 now up to 2nd place. And I believe Brandon Templeton is being shown the mechanical flag for the damage to that nose. So disappointed to him. He is going to have to go to the pits. Harry Pears on the move there. That's him getting past Leo Brown, I think, in the 33. to take 10th place, get himself up into the top 10. There is the confirmation of the mechanical flag for the 24 of Templeton. Gutting for him. I think everyone just stacked up into Christmas corner. There is the damaged nose. The officials declaring that needs to be repaired, lest it fly off and cause some damage. The 42 there of Gabriel Stilp, battling with the 31 of Baxter Davis, but Baxter Davis has got through, I think. So that's Jack Cox up to 5th. Anthony, oh, it's all change amongst that from 5th downwards. So it's Jack Cox now in 5th. Sophroniou in 6th, 7th for Jessica Edgar, and then Alfie Baxter Davis in 8th. You can see there the 24 passing under the technical defect flag. That's the orange circle in the middle of a black flag. That's called the meatball flag colloquially. We're looking here at Alfie Briggs. No, has Sophroniou got back past them here? It's all changing into top 10. There's Harry Peers. Yeah, I say that as if it's a bad thing. Aidan Line is on a move as well. Has got himself up into at least 11th position. Yes, Sophroniou has been on the move. He's got past Jack Cox for 5th place. So the 74 of Mycouris leads, 27 of Bart Harrison, then it's the 29 of Bradley Beavers, 47 of Alfie Briggs. Antonis Sophroniou is in 5th in the 76, and then Jack Cox in the number 19 in 6th. And I'm being told that Brandon Templeton has had a black flag, presumably for that incident on the first lap. Was that someone going past Harry Peers there? No. Yes, it was. It's Harry Peers, and he goes back past. So Baxter Davis and Harry Peers swapping positions corner by corner here. Fantastic stuff over 8th place there as they work their way through the boot. Harry Peers, Baxter Davis, Aidan Line and Leo Brown all lying astern. Sam Baker just got past Gabriel Stilp behind them for 12th place as well. And here is the 24 retiring to the pits. Well, the black flag given to Templeton would suggest the stewards feel that it was the fault lay there. So disappointment for Brandon Templeton. Oh no, sorry, Brandon Templeton got that black flag, didn't he? Sorry, my apologies. I was saying I think I was accusing him of hitting himself then. Sorry, Brandon Templeton comes into the pits as we join the action back out on track, which is in the form of Alfie Briggs in 4th, leading this train of karts. Sophroniou, Jessica Edgar, who's just had a contact warning, Jack Cox in the 19. No, Edgar's got past Sophroniou. So now she's going to challenge the back of Alfie Briggs. So Alfie Briggs coming up the hill. Jessica Edgar, and then up the inside there of Baxter Davis goes Aidan Line, still battling out there. This is brilliant stuff between those two as they head down into Ashby. There's the 48 of Aidan Line. 31 is Baxter Davis, and Leo Brown's in the 33 and Sam Baker in the 36. Here's your leader, Theo Mycouris. Barely spoken about him. He's doing a fantastic job at the moment. The gap is less than a second though, because that man there, Bart Harrison, is keeping him very honest. And Bart Harrison just set the fastest lap of the race at 46.53 as well. This is simmering away nicely here for the lead of this one. Bradley Beavers is in 3rd. And Alfie Briggs, we've seen, leads that pack of karts. Aidan Line got past Alfie Baxter Davis on that last lap. Wouldn't put it past them for that to change around again, because they seem to be having a race-long battle here. In the final of the X30 Minis, here are your two leaders, Mycouris and Harrison. Both of them have got a heat win. This time the gap goes out slightly though. Mycouris with the advantage to them. There is Bradley Beavers, you saw him briefly there. Slightly quiet zone. Alfie Briggs also quietly in 4th at the moment. This is 2 seconds the gap he has for the 17 of Jessica Edgar. And then this is the battle of everybody else basically. Coming through Ashby. Actually, even Jessica Edgar has got slightly ahead, or unless Sophroniou has got to the head of this pack now. Yes, he has. I think Sophroniou and Piers may have got past Jessica Edgar through the first part of that lap, through Christmas Corner. Personal bet set by Mercouris. Harrison drops back another tenth of a second. And no, Jessica Edgar is now comfortably, so they've spread out slightly, the top five. So Harry Piers has got past Sofroniou. There he is, Harry Piers, Antonis Sofroniou, Jack Cox, Aidan Lyne, and Alfie Baxter Davis, all mere tenths apart. Leo Brown, half a second back from them, Sam Baker, Gabriel Stilp, and then the slightly bigger gaps back to Ellis Portia, Luke Garlick, Jack Sherwood, Finlay Harrison, the last of the runners on the road, with Templeton and Johnston Cool now in the pit lane. I think neither of them were able to continue. Harry Piers leads the battle for sixth place into the boot. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Aidan Lyne on the back of Jack Coxon. Oh, drama there into the final corner, and they're both off. That is Jack Cox and Alfie Baxter Davis. Baxter Davis gets underway again, but Jack Cox, I'm not sure if we've got a replay of that one, but just into the final corner there was drama. Contact warning given for the 48. Here we're going to see it coming in. So you see the 19. Oh, and it was just the tag there. Oh, it all got a bit close between the 48, the 31, and the 19. Aidan Lyne with the contact warning there. Now for Baxter Davis dropped down a few places as a result. Jack Cox dropped down 5 places as a result. But they're still all sort of part of the pack. We're back with Harry Piers in 6th place. Antonis Sofroniou in pursuit. Aidan Lyne with them as well. The 25, the 76 and the 48. This is the battle over 6th place. The ruckus of the previous lap, or a couple of laps ago, means that this is spread out slightly and is no longer just a big 8-cart train. Back with our leaders, that's the gap. Theo Mycouris to Bart Harrison. Still doing a brilliant job of keeping Mycouris honest is Harrison. There's less than 2 minutes on the clock. So if Bart Harrison is going to take the fight to Mycouris, he does need to start reeling the leader in just a little bit more. He was 200ths faster on that previous lap, which is impressive stuff. But he still needs to do a little bit more. Aidan Lyne got past Sofroniou on that last lap. So Aidan Lyne now in 7th place, battling or on the back of Harry Piers. Sofroniou though still very much in the hunt. Theo Mycouris, championship leader coming into today, is exactly where he wants to be, in the lead of this one, with Bart Harrison in 2nd. Bradley Beavers is in 3rd, having a relatively quiet one. He's 3 seconds behind these two, and he's nearly 2 seconds ahead of Alfie Briggs, who in turn is a second ahead of Jessica Edgar, who in turn is 3 seconds ahead of that Harry Piers battle that we've been focusing on a lot in this one. So it's quite spread out here amongst the top runners. But still got to keep it clean and keep it on the road. And from 6th downwards, as I say, it's basically anyone's guess. This is Frank Weaver's second in the championship coming into today. He'll have a good haul of points if he finishes in 3rd. Problem for him from the championship perspective is that man you just saw there, Theo Mycouris, is in 1st. Top of the circuit they come. That's Jessica Edgar, and you know what, she is reeling in Alfie Briggs, to be fair. It is closing up in the battle for 4th place. There is only going to be one more lap after this one though. You can see Alfie Briggs in the 47 there, just a little look over his shoulder. I think he'll be alright, but the gap is definitely going down. Jessica is definitely reeling him in. I've just noticed the Lewis Hamilton's in this. On to the last lap we are then. Just saw Bradley Beavers go through your shot, and then there's the battle for fourth place. That's what's not settled, and then this isn't settled, and that's why. Aidan Line just up the inside of Harry Pears into oblivion on the last lap. Brilliant stuff there, but this is the man who's looking set to win this one. Theo Mykuris, he's had a brilliant day. He's having a brilliant season so far as he comes around Oziers, and Harry Pears is now under pressure further back from Sofronio. But Theo Mykuris is going to come round the boot. Round boot 2 and boot 3, and then he just has to swing it through paddock corner, and Theo Mykuris takes the win in X30 Minis for round 3. It's going to be Bart Harrison in second place and Bradley Beavers to complete the podium. Indeed it is, across the line now. Alfie Briggs just manages to hold off Jessica Edgar. 1.8 tenths of a second between them. Aidan Line finishes 6th. Sofronio did get past Harry Pears on that last lap as well, so Harry Pears, having been so strong, he did drop just a little bit on that last lap, but it's Sofronio in 7th and Pears in 8th. Good races by all of them. Leo Brown finishes 9th, Sam Baker in 10th, Gabriel Stilpin 11th, Ellis Borchia in 12th, 13th for Luke Garlick. Jack Cox, after the incident that we saw, managed to recover to 14th. Alfie Baxter Davis finished 15th. Jack Sherwood in 16th. Finlay Harrison finishes in 17th. Brandon Templeton and Lewis Johnston Cool were retirements. But that young man there, Theo Mykuris, has taken home the spoils in the X30 Minis today at Whilton Mill. Fantastic win there. Bradley Beavers there gets a good haul of points. And Alfie Briggs there, Jessica Edgar, and Aidan Line. Sofronio, Harry Pears, I should be on at this point. This is when it's easy to keep track of them. Sam Baker, they're going slow enough now to keep track of them. Brilliant action there in the X30 Minis. Next up will be the finals in both Junior Max and Mini Max. Jensen Watts will start on pole then for your Junior Max class final. Ben Casely alongside him on the front row. Tommy Edmonds and Joshua Valance will be on row 2. And then it's Dan Briggs and Catherine White on row 3. Ben Maxim and Madison Foley will be on row 4 with Henry Green and Luke Preston rounding out the top 10. On row 6 we find Daniel Parron-Smith and Jack Brand, and then it's going to be Oliver Martinsky and Joe Linden on row 7. That's the end of your Junior Max grid. Then will come the Mini Max grid of Dan Sawyer and Jessica White, Luke Ringham and Charlie Ellis on row 2 in that class, and then Jensen Giles and Harry Linden in row 3 in that class. 2 classes, don't forget. We've seen great battling in both classes actually, so as if the the finals for the other classes weren't hard enough to keep track of, you've got 2 here. But it's Jensen Watts who has accrued the most points across the 2 finals, and here go the Junior Maxes. Jensen Watts leads them away, immediately jinks to the right hand side to defend, and he gets the job done. And I think Tommy Edmonds may have had a good start there, and there go the Mini Maxes. Only 4 of them present by the looks of it, so maybe not all of them have been able. We have seen some retirements across the Mini-Maxes throughout the day, so I'll confirm who's in this as they come through. But certainly at the moment, Jensen Watts has been able to hold on to the lead there, and I think Dan Sawyer has been able to hold on to the lead in Mini-Max. We're looking back here at Tommy Edmonds, who's having to go defensive. He looks to be in 4th place here. So he's, and it is Ben Casely who's got up to 2nd actually. Or indeed has held on to his 2nd place. So it looks like it's Jensen Watts, Ben Casely, and Joshua Valance looks like he may have got up to 3rd place. Jensen Watts, Ben Casely, Joshua Valance indeed it is. Tommy Edmonds now defending against Daniel Briggs, Ben Maxim, Catherine White, Luke Preston, Henry Green, Madison Foley, Parron-Smith, Joe Linden and Martinsky as your juniors, and then it's Daniel Sawyer, Jessica White, Harry Linden and Luke Ringham are your 4 starters in Minimax. Jack Brand has had some sort of drama there. Oh, and we've got a stationary cart there. It's the number 44. It's Luke Preston. Not for the first time today. Luke Preston has come into woes And at the bottom of the hill as well, that's the 33 of Catherine White. Well, now they're very far apart, but was that in some way related at all? That's pure speculation, I should stress at the moment. Is that the 44 coming stationary? Oh, he's got. Okay, it wasn't terminal for the Kart then, because he's carried on. Meanwhile, the battles rage on. Jensen Watts still leads. There's Ben Casely. Then comes Joshua Valance, and the 44 slow again. So there's clearly a Kart issue here for. In fact, he's stopped on the national loop, hasn't he? He stopped well off the track there, using the national loop. So effectively a cut through, effectively to park the car there for Luke Preston. So. Oh dear me, dramas for Catherine White, for Luke Preston. Not sure if they were related, but they happened in very close together in terms of time. There was a very long straight separating the two, but I do wonder if those are related. Either way, Jensen Watts leads with Ben Casely keeping him honest. There was Josh Valance in the 28, then comes the 23 of Tommy Edmonds. Now he's broken away somewhat from the 51 of Daniel Briggs, who's actually more concerned right now with Ben Maxim in the 99 in 6th place, very close on his tail. Here's the lead battle though. Ben Casely and Jensen Watts. Down into Ashby they go. Through Wilkins, down towards Oziers. Brilliant circuit for Daventry is Whilton Mill. So many overtaking opportunities. And that's exactly what Ben Casely will be hoping to take advantage of here. As we've still got plenty of time left on the clock here. Dan Sawyer is leading in Minimax. Harry Linden is up into second, ahead of Jessica White now. But Jessica White is right with Linden. In fact, it's in that order that we saw towards the end of that final heat in Minimax for the second place battle. Linden, White and Ringham. So that's one to keep an eye out for, the 21, the 37 and the 60. Dan Sawyer has a 3-second lead in Minimax, with a battle over second place in that class still raging away. Ben Casely has got past the 36, so Ben Casely has taken the lead. Whilst I was trying to update on the Minimax, the Junior Max has all changed now. Ben Casely to the front of the field, ahead of Jensen Watts now. So change of the lead on lap number 5 in the final of the Junior Max class. Joshua Valance keeping them honest as well. He's there in that white Kart with the yellow helmet. That's Valance. Then's Tommy Edmonds, and still the battle raging between Daniel Briggs and Ben Maxim in over 5th and 6th. Brilliant stuff this at the head of the field. Brilliant stuff throughout the field. There's so many battles going on. Still Harry Linden is in second place in Minimax. Ben Casely now leads the field in Junior Max. Onto the back straight they come again. Jensen Watts, I think, just biding his time at the moment in second place, waiting for the optimum time to pounce. Joshua Valance trying to get onto terms with these two. He set the fastest lap of the race, did Valance the last time around, but this time it's Ben Casely who sets the fastest lap of the race at 46.36. There's Tommy Edmonds now, is being reeled in somewhat by Briggs and Maxim. And further back, you can see there a good battle going on between Madison Foley and Martinsky just came into shot as well. That was the battle for 9th place, and it is changed. Here we go. Here's our class in the Minimax you just saw there. It's Jack Brand is working his way up through the field. He had some dramas in his Junior Max car. He's now working his way up through the Minimax. That's what we saw go through the shot there in Crook. Catherine White and Luke Preston are both out now. Out of the race, I'm sorry to report. As they cross the line onto lap 8. This time it's Jensen Watts who sets the fastest lap of the race, and sure enough he's right on the tail of Ben Casely as they head up the hill. Is there going to be an opportunity this time, or does he wait for a better chance? He waits for a better chance right now. Two drivers who have been on excellent form today, working their way through the middle part of the lap. It's actually quite significant. I mentioned that Jack Brand had some dramas. That's actually quite significant in terms of the championship, of course, because Jack Brand sitting second in that championship coming into today. Joshua Valance was your points leader coming into today in Junior Max. Head through the crook. Still, Daniel Briggs and Ben Maxim effectively glued together. Oliver Martinsky did get past Madison Foley, though. That was the battle that I mentioned at the start of the last lap, the battle over 9th place. So Martinsky past Foley now. That's Dan Sawyer, your leader in Minimax. That's that would be Jack Brand, who's not in Minimax. I think we just saw Linden, White and Ringham. Back to the front. Ben Casely and Jensen Watts working their way through paddock corner into oblivion, through the crook. Josh Valence still trying to keep on terms there in the 28. Tommy Edmonds back a little back, having a quiet time of it there. And look at this for the lead. Watts goes for it up the inside of Casely at Christmas corner and gets the job done. So Jensen Watts repays the favour and takes the lead back off of Casely now, and it's allowed Josh Valence just to get within. Oh, he's going to feel just that little bit closer. It's exactly the kind of motivation he needs. Oh, I can see them battling. I can do it. I can just get a bit closer. Just important that he doesn't overdrive it. But as I say, points leader coming into today. He knows how to drive one of these Junior Max karts around Whilton Mill. Just bubbling away nicely here. Onto a fresh lap they go. And up the hill. Anything on here for Ben Casely. He's close, but he's not going to go for it this time. Not close enough. Heading towards Ashby they go. Your top three of Watts, Casely and Valence. Tommy Edmonds running a fairly quiet race now in fourth. Just on the eagle-eyed of you will have spotted him flashing through the back of shot there. Ben Maxim and Daniel Briggs still glued together. Daniel Parent-Smith in 7th, Joe Linden, Oliver Martinsky and Madison Foley round out the top 10. There go the leaders. Ben Casely set the fastest lap of the race last time, so he's really on the back bumper of Jensen Watts now. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. Jinx to the inside. Both of them right on the limit with the brake, but through goes Ben Casely. Beautiful move. And it's Casely back to the front now. This is a fantastic battle here. And again, Joshua Valence gets that little bit closer, such that he's just that little bit more of a factor in this battle now. Dan Sawyer still leads in Minimax. Harry Linden still second. Jessica White in third and Luke Ringham in fourth. They've spread out a bit now, though, those Minimax runners. Luke Ringham's in the pits. Luke Ringham's in the pits, in fact, from fourth in that class. So drama's happening for him there. Ben Casely confirms, and out of the pits indeed. There is Luke Ringham coming out. Savvy driving from Ringham. Looks over his shoulder to make sure he's not about to interfere with any of the other runners coming through. Here is your top three then. Ben Casely in the 53, Jensen Watts in the 36, Joshua Valence in the 28. 2 minutes 20 plus a lap to go. Through Wilkins they go. Throw the kart in and then make sure that you brake nice and hard for Ozier's onto the back straight, braking hard into the boot. Don't go too wide on the exit, else you'll compromise boots 2 and 3. And then sweeping through paddock onto the main straight to begin another lap into oblivion. Through the crook and up the hill again towards Christmas. Can Jensen Watts do anything? He's very close. Is he close enough? Doesn't feel like it at the moment. And he's got to be conscious of the fact that Josh Valence is right on his tail. So an unsuccessful bid for the lead could actually land him in third place if he's not careful. Tommy Edmonds behind, well, Ben Maxim has now got past Daniel Briggs, and now Ben Maxim is challenging Tommy Edmonds for fourth, so there's a fourth place battle developing behind all of this. Just briefly caught sight of Harry Linden in the 21 there, starting a new lap. He's second fairly comfortably now in Minimax. He's got 4 seconds over Jessica White. You just saw the top three go through there. Just to see the top four. There's the battle over fourth place. That's Tommy Edmonds and Ben Maxim. Look at this though. Jensen Watts goes for it again. And again he goes with it. Will Ben Casely be able to get the switch back? He goes for it. Can he get the switch back through Inkermans? He has got the space, but Watts goes defensive and look out for Joshua Valence. He's right with them. Oh, but he's got a brilliant switch back. What went wrong there? Jensen Watts got all out of shape into Ashby. went deep and has allowed Ben Casely through. Ben Casely, after 3 corners of asking, or 4 corners even, manages to take the lead back off of Jensen Watts. There's a mechanical flag for Madison Foley, so Madison will have to report to the pits. But change again for the lead. Ben Casely to the front, and now Joshua Valance. It really is a factor in this top 3 because they're equally spaced. Tommy Edmonds coming under increasing pressure from Ben Maxim in the background as well over 4th place. Daniel Briggs is in 5th, 1.5 seconds back from those two, with Daniel Parent-Smith now for close company. Then it's a further 5 seconds back to Joe Linden, who's right with Oliver Martinsky as well, and sadly Madison Foley from 10th place, as I say, has just been shown with that meatball flag, the mechanical flag that says driver has to report to pit lane. And this is fantastic stuff in the closing moments of the Junior Max class for round 3 of the WMKC for 2019. This is going to be going on to the final lap now. Ben Casely will lead them round. There's the final lap coming on to the Digi flag. Who's going to take this one then? Ben Casely sweeps through the crook and heads up the hill. Is Jensen Watts close enough? Casely's wise to it and goes defensive. Is it too early to go defensive? Because now Watts is going to have a good run out of Christmas Corner through Inkermans and heading down to Ashby. Look out for Josh Valance though. He's been building up to this all race long. 3 lying astern, coming through the midsection of the lap now, through Wilkins and into Oziers. I don't think any of them are quite close enough to try anything, but is there going to be anything on in the final part of the lap? There's a Minimax runner up ahead, but I don't know that that's going to feature. I think it's Dan Sawyer's actually the leader in that, but it's going to be Ben Casely who comes round to take the victory. It's going to be so close for second at the line as well. Ben Casely wins. Jensen Watts in second by 1.5 tenths of a second ahead of Joshua Valance. Tommy Edmonds finishes in 4th place. He holds off Ben Maxim, and that's good to see. Good sportsmanship between Casely and Jensen Watts, respecting each other and indicating good race, mate, and well they might, because that was some fantastic clean battling there. Daniel Briggs finished in 6th. Daniel Parent-Smith finishes 7th. Joe Linden in 8th. Oliver Martinsky in 9th. Madison Foley finished in 10th. I'm not sure if Madison did report to the pitch for that meatball flag, you know. Not 100% sure. Henry Green finishes 11th. As we've got a replay here. Lovely stuff to see. Good stuff this between 2 competitors. They've been thoroughly entertaining all day, not least in that final. Henry Green finished 11th. Dan Sawyer is your winner in Minimax. Fantastic stuff from him in the number 12 kart. Jack Brand finished 13th overall after some dramas. Is that going to be significant? There's Luke Preston, who now is presumably, he didn't finish the race, so presumably his kart's going to need recovering, as will Catherine White's kart. But Jack Brand's second in the standings coming into today, but not the race he needed. Harry Linden finishes 2nd in Minimax, and then Jessica White finishes 3rd. Luke Ringham finished 4th within the Minimax class, 16th overall. Catherine White and Luke Preston retired. But it is Ben Casely who takes home the spoils in the Junior Max. Fantastic race-long battle there with Jensen Watts and Joshua Valance. Respect to those 3 drivers for putting on such a show. And that's your Junior Max and Minimax. Next up is going to be the final in X30 Juniors. Here we go then, X30 Juniors, Caden McQueen and Reggie Dewey. Well, they've been battling sort of throughout the year so far, and sure enough, they're on the front row of the grid for the X30 Junior final. Carly Atkins and Thomas Leben are on row 2, Thomas Mills and Connor Clifford on row 3. Kakpa Scusa and Joshua Torpy are on row 4 for this one, and Charles Betts and Joshua McLean are on row 5. Nathan Clifford and Samuel Shaw are on row 6, with Alexander Johnston and Sam Heading on row 7. Row 8 sees Rashan Chigarimbo and Christian Brooks side by side, and then on row 9 it's going to be Jude Fernahoe and Scott Sumpton. Finley Dunn and Ben McDowell round out the top 20, and then it's going to be Archie Brown and Robbie Stapleford on row 11. Oscar Joyce and Charlie Field on row 12. Row 13 is going to be Mason Reeve and Lorenzo Cordal. Kyle Dunford and Oliver Henwood on row 14. On row 15 is going to be Daniel Amazigo and Lucas Romanek. And then on row 16 on this 32 kart grid, it's going to be Jensen Buckingham and Ben Jenkins. What I hear you cry is the situation in this championship. Well, going into today, I can tell you that it was Samuel Shaw who was leading this one with Joshua Torpey. Reggie Dewey has been gradually working his way up into third place. He had a disqualification back in round 1, did Reggie Dewey, but he's now hoping to mount a full-on championship challenge. And Caden McQueen was your finals winner last time out at round 2, but currently sits 6th in the championship. So Reggie Dewey and Caden McQueen could do with good results here. Samuel Shaw slightly further back on this grid. It was the points leader coming into today. Reggie Dewey in the 66 starts grid 2nd. Caden McQueen is on grid 1. Engine notes rise, and away we go for the X30 Juniors final. It's a good start from Caden McQueen. It's a good start from the anti-pole side of the grid because Carly Atkins is up. Someone's going very wide there into turn 2. And I think, oh, and there's contact there. Oh, big contact going up the bank to the side of the main straight there up towards Christmas Corner. Several karts involved. Multiple karts involved, in fact. It's McLean, Charles Bett, no, they've gone through the first sector. Chigarimbo, Christian Brooks, Ben McDowell, Charlie Field, Mason Reeve, Kyle Dunford, Oliver Henwood I think was slowed up as well. Several karts involved. That's the 68, which is Ben McDowell, who went the furthest off there, and it all just bolts up. There's Ben McDowell. Well, that's why we have a grass bank, folks, to keep incidents like that nice and tame. Goodness me, that's the most dramatic start I think we've seen today. And we've got 2 karts out of that one. So the real affected drivers there, Rashan Chigarimbo, Christian Brooks, Ben McDowell, Kyle Dunford were all involved in that incident, but it looks like those who have actually come to a stop is Chigarimbo in the 92, Christian Brooks in the 82, Ben McDowell in the 68, the one we saw going well off to drivers left, and Kyle Dunford in the 40. I think those all may be retirements. Goodness me, high drama here at the start of this one, but it's high drama at the front because Reggie Dewey is all over the back of Caden McQueen here. It's Caden McQueen, Reggie Dewey, and Reggie Dewey's got past Carly Atkins on that lap as well for 2nd place. So McQueen, Dewey, Atkins, Thomas Mills is in 4th, Thomas Levin in 5th, then Connor Clifford, Kat Pascusa, Samuel Shaw up to 8th, ahead of Nathan Clifford, and Joshua McLean just got past Josh Torpey for 10th place. Close quarter racing at the front of this one then. And yes, Chigarimbo, Christian Brooks, McDowell and Dunford all confirmed as retired from this race after that dramatic start. Up at Manuel's Bank, I believe that's called, that banking there, after drivers left just before Christmas Corner. Look at this though, Reggie Dewey trying to hook under Caden McQueen here. On to lap number 4 they go. And Carly Atkins trying to hook under Reggie Dewey as well. Just trying to get any advantage that they can as they all side their way through. Already the leaders have gone through Christmas Corner as they head to Ashby. Breakaway group of 3 here. Meanwhile, behind them, Mills is having to go defensive against Leben. The 2 Toms battling it out over 4th place. It's Leben now past Mills. So Thomas Leben has got past for 4th place. Still McQueen leads Dewey and Atkins through the boot. Confirmed that Thomas Levin has got past Thomas Mills. Also Samuel Shaw has got past Kat Pascusa. And is this the points leader into the championship coming into today at least? Coming back up through the field. I did think, just as I was reading out the grid, that there were a few drivers who felt sort of out of position, who maybe had bad luck in some of the finals. Top 3 come onto the back straight though. Caden McQueen, winner last time out in the finals. In round 2, Reggie Dewey there is going to try and get a switch back through the second part of the boot, but it's not enough to capitalise on, and he holds station there as they come through onto lap number 6. Reggie Dewey, fastest lap of the race at 45.2. He is as close as you like to the back of Caden McQueen. Also close, I think we just saw Joshua McLean and Sam Heading come through in the back of the 10th. They're less than 2 tenths apart as well. Ooh, Thomas Leben now trying to get onto the back of them, trying to break the toe of Thomas Mills. Well, they're at least both working together, it would seem, to try and get onto the back of these top 3. Connor Clifford holding station in 6th, Samuel Shaw up to 7th, as I mentioned. Still plenty of this one to go. The leaders come around paddock corner again to begin a new lap. Fastest lap of the race from Caden McQueen at 45.16. Scream through oblivion and the crook. Sam Heading has got past Joshua McLean. I said them close for 10th place, so change of position there. Also further down, Daniel Amazigo has got past Finley Dunn for 16th place, so there are changes further back down in the field. Everyone's still mightily close. Samuel Shaw crossed the line right on the bumper of Connor Clifford as well. And so that's in the battle over 6th place. This time it's Reggie Dewey who sets the fastest lap of the race, which is why he's all over the back of Caden McQueen as they come up the hill. Is there going to be an opportunity for Reggie Dewey? Is it too early for him to pounce, even if there is an opportunity? Might well be. What he doesn't want to do is open himself up to attack from Carly Atkins, or indeed throw them all back into the clutches of Thomas Leben and Thomas Mills. Samuel Shaw did indeed get past Connor Clifford for 6th place. So Sam Shaw is on a charge up through the field here. Alexander Johnston also just took the right 6th place off Charles Betts last time around. Leaders come back round to begin another tour of the circuit. There's the battle for 4th place. Thomas Leben and Mills, and then Sam Shaw. That's them. And then we saw the 14 of Connor Clifford, and then Kat Pascusa and Nathan Clifford just came through the shot as well there. Plenty of battling throughout the field. This is the battle for 4th place, as I say. Leben, Mills and Shaw. Into Ashby they go. So you've got these 2 packs of 3 at the head of the field. The lead battle that we're looking at a lot, and then this pack of Thomas Leben, Thomas Mills and Samuel Shaw. Samuel Shaw, though, has just arrived on this scene, having worked his way up through the top 10. So is he going to try and arrive on the scene and use somewhat of the element of surprise? Thomas Mills, there's the top 3. And here's the battle for 4th place. And you know what, Sam Shaw is all over the back of Tom Mills, as is Reggie Dewey all over the back of Caden McQueen, but still doesn't feel it's time to go for it. They're going downhill into Ashby once again. Thomas Leben just a bit ahead of Tom Mills and Sam Shaw. Nathan Clifford has got past Kat Pascusa for 8th place, and Amazigo has got past Oscar Joyce for 15th. They're so close all the way throughout the field here. 4.5 minutes plus a lap left to go then in the X30 Junior final here for round 3 of the 2019 WMKC. You can't really write the headlines yet, can you? Because there's no way of knowing who's going to win this one. Sam Shaw has got past Tom Mills though in that battle pack for 4th place, but we saw Sam Shaw continues to work his way up, racing well here in the final. The race that counts the most is the points leader coming into today in this class. Sam Heading has got past Kat Pascusa now for 9th place. And Charles Betts has taken Archie Brown for 19th, so still changes every single lap here at Whilton Mill. As the lead pack comes through paddock. Fantastic racing we are being treated to here. I'm going to use this brief period of calm to say to anybody out there, if you're enjoying the racing, share the stream. Share the stream. Share it on YouTube. Share the YouTube stream. Up the inside goes. That was Thomas Mills and Sam Shaw, I believe it may well. No, it was Sam Heading on Nathan Clifford, I believe. Getting by there. Yes, it was. Sam Heading now past Nathan Clifford. Of course, as I say, as we get a moment of calm, of course the drivers don't deny me that moment of calm. But yeah, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, get talking about it on social media, get sharing, Facebook and YouTube. We would really appreciate your support this afternoon. Thank you very much so far for following the action here today. And what an amount of action we're being treated to here. Closing stages of the race then, and look at this. It's time to pounce for Sam Shaw up the inside of Tom Leben. Takes fourth place, beautifully done by Sam Shaw. Working very well here, up through the top 10 goes Sam Shaw. Leben goes half on the attack, half on the defence against Mills, because Tom Mills wants that place back. Remember, before Sam Shaw arrived on the scene, these two were battling anyway. We cut back to the leaders because Reggie Dewey has gone up he's gone past Caden McQueen. Change for the lead then, with 2 minutes plus a lap to go. Reggie Dewey gets himself to the head of the field and sets himself up for what would be his first finals win of the season. But McQueen's going to come back at him into Christmas. Beautiful stuff between McQueen and Dewey. McQueen back to the head of the field, but look out for Carly Atkins. He's right there ready to pick up the spoils of war should it come to it in the closing stages of this one. Through Wilkins they'll go again. Anything on into Osiers? No, not this time. They'll come on through the back straight. I reckon they've got another 3 laps to do though of this one. Plenty of opportunity then. Just the opening skirmish there dealt with. Caden McQueen back in the lead of this one with Reggie Dewey right with him. Is there a run up the hill for Reggie Dewey? And he's going to jink to the inside, he's going to go for it, and up the inside goes Reggie Dewey. Caden McQueen doesn't try and hang around the outside, he gets right back onto the idea of quick, get back onto the racing line and set up a retort to that move. Good heads up driving there. Carly Atkins, maybe a quick look to the right there just to see, is anyone else catching up with us? And there goes Caden McQueen. That was from a long way back of Reggie Dewey. Oh, that's 23 of Lewis Romanek. Has had to park it at the side of the road. So yellow flags there. Reggie Dewey though under attack here from Carly Atkins, and Carly Atkins goes through, but he runs a bit wide, and Reggie Dewey, is he going to be able to get him back? He's going to try and get the switch back out of the crook and up the hill. Carly Atkins has pounced though and is now in second place, and Reggie Dewey maybe needs to just hold station a little, and they need to work together if they're going to set it up for either of them having a chance to get past Caden McQueen onto the last lap. In fourth place in the background there's Sam Shaw, and then it's the battle of the two Toms again. Still Leben ahead of Mills. Sam Heading has got past Connor Clifford for 7th place, as there's a mechanical flag shown for the 79 of Archie Brown, so he'll have to visit the pit lane, currently running in 20th place. Disappointment for him. Yellow flag's still out for the Romanet kart that's off to driver's left. Couldn't quite see it there in your shot, but it is still there. Caden McQueen then leads them on to the last lap of the day for the X30 Juniors. Who's going to take the win here? The top 3 head up the hill. Caden McQueen has a quick look over his shoulder. I don't think anyone's close enough to challenge him here. But they're all in the slipstream. They're all closing up. Is there going to be an opportunity into Ashby or Osiers or even the boot? Those are the other 3 prominent locations. He goes for it. Reggie Dewey goes for it up the inside of Carly Atkins and gets the job done. Brilliant stuff as they'll be heading through Wilkins now. But Reggie Dewey has got the job done on Carly Atkins, but I think in doing it, I think he's made the judgment and said yellow's still out though at the boot, so that's going to neutralise it. So surely Caden McQueen is going to hold on to this one. Caden McQueen is going to lead Reggie Dewey and Carly Atkins round the last corner to take the win. Caden McQueen wins, Reggie Dewey in second, and Carly Atkins rounds out the podium in the X30 Juniors. Sam Shaw brilliantly worked his way up through the field to finish 4th. Thomas Leben finished ahead of Thomas Mills in 5th. Sam Heading in 7th, getting Connor Clifford towards the end there for 7th. Nathan Clifford in 9th. 10th is Joshua McLean. Josh Torpy is 11th. Kat Pascuza finishes in 12th. Jude Fernahoe in 13th. Scott Sumpton in 14th, Daniel Amazigo in 15th, Oscar Joyce in 16th, Alexander Johnston is in 17th, Archie Brown pulled into the pits. That's why it's all changing on the timing screen in front of me for that mechanical flag. Charles Betts finishes 18th, 19th for Finley Dunn. Lorenzo Cordal finishes 20th. As there are all of the karts that were involved in that first lap incident. Charlie Field finishes 21st, 22nd for Ben Jenkins. Jensen Buckingham finishes 23rd, 24th for Oliver Henwood. Mason Reeve in 25th, and Archie Brown is in 26th. Lucas Romanet had to retire for that race, as did, due to the early on incident on lap 1, Rashan Chigarimbo, Christian Brooks, Ben McDowell and Carl Dunford. But what brilliant racing that was. Throughout the field, in fact, but particularly those top 3 kept us entertained there. Caden McQueen takes a well-deserved victory ahead of Reggie Dewey and Carly Atkins. Brilliant stuff there from the X30 Juniors. Next will be the final in X30 Seniors. Here is your grid then for the X30 Seniors final. Just this and the Honda Cadets final to go, by the way. We are rapidly approaching the end of today's programme of events. What a brilliant day it's been so far. Luke Whitehead will take the pole in this one, and then it's the winner of the last heat, Axel Laflamme, in second alongside Thomas Byrne and Matt Armstrong on the second row of the grid. Derek Morgan and Harry Torpy will be on row 3. Nathan Herbert and Harry Little on row 4. Brandon Matchell and Caleb Marshall round out the top 10. Row 6 is going to be Daniel Seeger and Nat Thomas. Row 7 is going to be Liam Ferguson and Joseph Ahrens. Jamie Rogers and Louis Short are going to be on row 8, and then it's Travis Mitchell and Caelan Burbridge on row 9. Archie Garlick and Tom Pryor rounding out the top 20. Nathan Amos and Brandon Haig on row 11. Row 12 is Charlie Koschel and Thomas Hankins. Row 13 is Nathan Peters and Yusuf Sohajorno. Mason Weir and Thomas Pegram on row 14. And Paul Alexander is in 29th spot on the grid. And of course we're waiting for all those karts to get recovered from the incident at the start of the last race. So we have got just a little bit of a pause in proceedings here before they join us on circuit. Just reflecting on some of the other action we've seen. Comments coming in, this is going back a couple of races now, but congratulations coming in for Alfie Briggs for his podium. That was in Junior Max, wasn't it? So good stuff there. Thank you, Terry, for interacting. I'm sure you were posting it mostly for Alfie, but glad we could feature your comment on the stream. This is your Alpha Live production live stream of round 3 of the 2019 Whilton Mill Kart Club Championships. My name's Howard Mitchell. Thank you for supporting throughout the day. If you like what you've seen, give Alpha Live Productions a like on Facebook. If you like what you've heard, give Double Dash Motorsport Media a like on Facebook. You're very, very welcome to join both of those communities of people passionately following motorsport action around the UK. And if you're on YouTube, give out. In fact, if you're not on YouTube right now, at some point when you're on YouTube, follow, subscribe. Subscribe. That's the thing on YouTube, isn't it? Subscribe to Alpha Live. They will be very, very happy to have you subscribe. And why not click the notifications bell as well? That would be brilliant. That's the other thing that's on YouTube right now. I don't have a massive YouTube channel. There is a Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel though. Sign up for that and click the notification bell as well. We'd love to have you along there. And that's drama though for the 57. And that's Axel Laflamme. That's second place on the grid, and he's not going to be there because the race is underway now. You can see it in the background. Gutting that for Axel Laflamme, but Luke Whitehead leads them away. Thomas Byrne then, I would expect to follow through in second place. Gutting stuff for Axel Laflamme, who's heading up there to Christmas. Well, everyone's heading up there to Christmas Corner. Do they all make it through? Looks to me like they all have as they head down to Ashby Hairpin now, 3 abreast in some parts of the mid-pack there, working their way through. There is a very dejected Axel Laflamme. That must be gutting for him, having taken the heat win earlier on. I think Luke Whitehead has been able to retain his lead, though. I say that with hesitation, because to me that doesn't look like a Luke Whitehead kart, and that's because it's not a Luke Whitehead kart. It's Thomas Byrne who has got to the head of the field, Derek Morgan in second, and Nathan Herbert, and then Matt Armstrong. Where has the 55 gone? Oh, it's down to 9th place for Luke Whitehead. Not a great first lap there for Whitehead. And so it's Thomas Byrne in the 74, the number 9 of Derek Morgan. Nathan Herbert is in 3rd place as they all work their way through the midsection of the lap. Well, this isn't who we expected to be the key protagonists in this. Oh, and there's drama down there at the boot. It's the 69 and the 50, which is Jamie Rogers and Nat Thomas respectively. As the main pack comes through to start a new lap, Thomas Byrne, Derek Morgan, Nathan Herbert, Matt Armstrong, Harry Torpey, Caleb Marshall. There's no change amongst the top 6, but Liam Ferguson has just got past Harry Little for 7th place. Liam Ferguson battling over 7th place rings a bell. I think he was the 7th place car in one of the many crazy 7th place battles we seem to have had today. Just a bizarre pattern that's emerged over the course of the day. Here's the lead battle though, Byrne with Derek Morgan just behind him, Nathan Herbert there in the 51, and then the 19 of Matt Armstrong. Matt Armstrong has been driving so well today. He hasn't had any wins in the heats, but he's been doing so well as the karts get recovered on the outside of the boot. Through Oblivion and the Crook they go. Working their way up through the top part of the circuit. And was that looked like Luke Whitehead though, putting a move there. I think I just saw. The sun's exactly where I don't want it for calling it. That looked like a move slightly further down the order. I think the leaders are still as they were. Oh, who was that going slowly on the inside? It's the 64. The 64 of Caleb Marshall comes to a stop, and that's gutting for him as well. Plenty of drama there. Goodness me, the circuit's beginning to become littered here with drivers who are having their hopes dashed of a good result today. It was Luke Whitehead I saw on the move, and I think it was Louis Short getting past Harry Little that I saw as well. We all saw really well. We're all watching up. We're looking at the number 19 there of Matt Armstrong. Yellow flags out in the boot for the myriad of karts that are out there now. It's becoming a bit of a car park, or kart park I suppose you'd say. As Thomas Byrne though leads Derek Morgan and Nathan Herbert onto a new lap. Matt Armstrong still running well in 4th. Harry Torpey and Luke Whitehead right with him, and then Liam Ferguson leading the battle over 7th place. Luke Whitehead has got onto the back of Harry Torpey courtesy of the fastest lap of the race. There's the top 3. And then Matt Armstrong in a little gap of his own. There goes Whitehead up the inside of Harry Torpey for 5th place through Ashby. Didn't see whether he finished that off, so we're going to have to see as they come round. Top 3. Nose to tail. I don't think there's any yellow flags anymore in the boot. I think that all still karts there. That was just me missing it. Yeah, Luke Whitehead has got the job done and got past Harry Torpey into 5th place. Byrne, Morgan, Herbert heading up the hill. Then it's Matt Armstrong. Then there is Luke Whitehead. And then is Harry Torpey. There's Whitehead in the blue helmet, red suit. Number 55. And behind them is the 65 of Liam Ferguson, Louis Short, Harry Little, Brandon Matchell. They're all mere tenths apart. Still not at the halfway mark yet though in the X30 Senior final. Plenty to come still here. At the moment I thought Derek Morgan was going to be able to hook under Thomas Byrne then out of the second part of the boot, but he holds station for now. Onto a new lap they come. so close amongst the top three, and Luke Whitehead is now right on the back of Matt Armstrong. And look at this for the lead of the race. Up goes Derek Morgan, and Nathan Herbert's ready to pounce as well. Beautifully done by both of them. Opportunism from Nathan Herbert, and it's all change. Derek Morgan leads, Nathan Herbert second, ahead of Thomas Byrne. And that was done quite neatly as well. I don't think they lost a lot of time there. Matt Armstrong has to start to worry about Luke Whitehead, who goes up the inside of Oziers as well. And Whitehead, I think, is up to fourth now behind this lead battle between the three of these drivers. Nathan Herbert's going to try and get a bit of a switch back out of the boot, but it's not on there. And indeed, Luke Whitehead is now up to fourth place. So this is the lap where it all started to change. Derek Morgan in first, Nathan Herbert second, Tom Byrne in third, and now it's Luke Whitehead, Matt Armstrong, and Harry Torpey still in sixth place. You can see him there. Then there's a battle going on between Liam Ferguson and Louis Short, very close at the back of shot there as they were coming up the hill. It looks like Nathan Herbert's trying to get an opportunity to Ashby, but it's not on there. All this battling is causing drivers to have slightly compromised lines, and it's closing it all up as we head into the second half of this race, which is exactly what we like to see. And there goes Thomas Byrne up the inside of Nathan Herbert. Beautiful move down into Oziers. Brilliantly judged there from Byrne, and now he's going to try and get back onto terms and retake the lead of this one off of Derek Morgan. Derek Morgan's had a great lap. Derek Morgan, Thomas Byrne. I said Louis Short, Liam Ferguson and Louis Short were close on that last lap. Louis Short has got past Liam Ferguson for 7th place. Further down the order, Brandon Haig has got past Brandon Matchell. It's a battle of the Brandons going on back there. So Thomas Hankins and Mason Weir starting a new lap. They're actually in quite a close battle over 20th place. Battles everywhere. We're sticking with the lead pack though. Derek Morgan, Tom Byrne, Nathan Herbert, Luke Whitehead. Those are your four. Luke Whitehead is the recent addition to this group. It was a three-kart battle, but Luke Whitehead has worked his way up brilliantly. Now, he was on pole, and he was on pole because he's had so much success in the heats today. So one would think he definitely has the pace within him to challenge for the victory here. But let's face it, none of these drivers are particularly slow, but Whitehead's got a run on Herbert. He's going to try up the inside of Nathan Herbert. Beautifully done by Luke Whitehead. Not for the first time today we see Whitehead going up the inside of someone into Christmas corner. That was lovely stuff there from Whitehead, and now he's got himself up into third and is looking at the back of former race leader Thomas Byrne as they head down into Oziers again and onto the back straight. Tom Pegram has recently got past Joseph Ahrens for 15th place. Still some karts on the inside of the boot section, but it has now been deemed safe for the yellow flag to be brought in at that section. Matt Armstrong sort of running quietly there in 5th place, but he'll be catching up with them, make no mistake, if they start to battle amongst this top four. And again, Whitehead's going for it into Christmas corner, this time on Tom Byrne, and gets the job done. Byrne is wanting not to lose too much time, of course, so he'll probably just accept that for now and wait to gain redemption later on in the race. But Luke Whitehead gets himself up into 2nd place now sets his sights on the race lead in the form of Derek Morgan. Still 3 minutes plus a lap to go. See Matt Armstrong just getting a little bit closer as these guys battle. Harry Torpey in 6th, Louis Short in 7th, Liam Ferguson in 8th. Brandon Haig has just got past Harry Little for 9th. Thomas Pegram's still on the move. He's got past. Tom Pryor's gone into the pits. Something wrong for Tom Pryor. He's falling down the order, I'm sorry to report. 2.5 minutes plus a lap. And Luke Whitehead is now right on the tail of Derek Morgan, who's been leading this race for a while. It was not a great. Now we because of Axel Laflamme's dramas, we didn't really see what happened on the lap one for our pole sitter Luke Whitehead. He dropped back to 9th and he's steadily worked his way back up to 2nd place here, and he's now poised, ready to challenge for the lead of this race as we enter the end game period. Thomas Byrne just set a personal best though, trying to keep on terms with this one. Look at this though, Whitehead to the inside of Morgan, up the inside into Christmas corner, his favourite place to do it, and he's done it. Up to the lead of the race goes Luke Whitehead, but Derek Morgan won't want to take that one accept that one without a fight, make no mistake. And he's staying right with Whitehead now, through Wilkins and down into Oziers. Behind them, Matt Armstrong is continuing to close up though. So it's going to be 5 karts at the head of this one, I'll wager, as we come into the final 3 laps of running for the X30 Seniors here today. On to lap 15 for our runners. There's the top 5, and there you can see Louis Short leading a very tight pack of Liam Ferguson, Harry Torpy and Brandon Haig behind them, so plenty of battles just within the top 10. That's not include. I mean, Brandon Matchell is now under serious pressure from Dan Seeger for 11th, I can see here on timing. Keep an eye on that timing column to your left-hand side of your screen, because it's not going to look like that in a couple of minutes' time. I guarantee it. Something will change here as we head into the closing phases. Tom Pryor, having gone to the pit lane, looks like he's staying there. Caleb Marshall, Nat Thomas and Jamie Rogers also retirements here, and Axel Laflamme never took the start, of course. Gutting for him after how well he's been running. Louis Shaw, oh, and Matt Armstrong. What's happened to Matt Armstrong? Drama for Matt Armstrong out there. He's dropping down the order. The number 19 car. I don't know if he's off or if he's just gone into the pits. He's going into the pits. Oh, dearie me. Gutting for Matt Armstrong. He's driven so well today, but clearly some issue with his kart. Didn't see any penalties or well, black flags, and something wrong with the kart for Matt Armstrong. Disappointment for him then, but the clock has just hit 0, so it's this lap plus 1 more for our leaders. Here is Luke Whitehead, and I think he's got enough, you know, as he comes onto the final lap. That's quite a gap of a quarter of a second. That's a big gap in X30 Seniors. But Derek Morgan had a good run there up the straight towards Christmas Corner. But he's got to be careful. Thomas Byrne has put himself in a brilliant position to challenge here. Nathan Herbert's dropped back just a little bit here. I think the podium might be out of reach for him. But here are your top 3. Whitehead, Morgan and Byrne heading towards Oziers to come onto the back straight. I don't think any of them are quite close enough to challenge here through the boot. So I think it's going to be Luke Whitehead who's going to bring it round, surely. Round the last corner. Derek Morgan's got to be careful though, but Luke Whitehead wins the race in X30 Seniors. It's Derek Morgan in second, Thomas Byrne in third, Nathan Herbert in fourth, then Louis Short leads that battle pack over fifth home to finish fifth, Harry Torpy in sixth, Brandon Haig in seventh, Liam Ferguson in eighth, ninth for Harry Little. Daniel Seeger was able to hold off Brandon Matchell for 10th place. 11th for them for Matchell, Thomas Pegram in 12th, 13th for Travis Mitchell, Joseph Ahrens in 14th, 15th for Nathan Amos, and Archie Garlick finishing 16th, Caelan Burbridge in 17th, 18th for Thomas Hankins, Mason Weir in 19th, 20th is Nathan Peters, Yusuf Sahajono in 21st, Paul Alexander in 22nd, and dramas befalling the following drivers. Matt Armstrong we saw having to pull into the pits. Tom Pryor had to pull into the pits. Caleb Marshall and Nat Thomas, they were retired out on circuit over at the boot, as was Jamie Rogers. And Axel Laflamme never took the start there. But there is your class winner for the X30 Seniors. Luke Whitehead doing himself no shortage of favours. Oh my goodness, I think that's the first cloud I've seen of the day. Well, the first one worth writing home about, but I don't think it's going to influence proceedings as we head towards the final race of the day here in the WMKC's programme of races. Congratulations to Luke Whitehead for winning X30 Seniors. Next is going to be the A final for Honda Cadets. Honda Cadets then on pole position, as was the case for the IARMY Cadets. What an incredible day he's had so far. Kian Nakamura-Berta will have Ethan Simmons alongside. Connor Duncan and Jaden Gregg will be on row 2. Zach Drummond and Jack Plant will be on row 3. Row 4 will be Oscar Teuton, third place in the standings coming into today, and Spencer Brown, Morgan Hill in 9th. And points leader coming into today, Mitchell Gibbons, will start from 10th position. Wesley Swain and Timo Youngling will be on row 6, and then it's Gustav Yuzukovs and Ryotaro Sakai on row 7. Ewan Charman and Henry Nzideberg will be on row 8. Bobby Rosier and Archie Sugahama will start on row 9. Row 10 will be Johan Kalichern and Jamie Perilli. And then on row 11 it's going to be Joe Cheek and Nathan Marks, Hayden Eldridge and Devon Nolan on row 12. James Bell and Jai Lawrence on row 13. Row 14 will be Aston McAndrew Uren and Joshua Patch. Henry Jocelyn and Kaiser Ryman will be row 15, rounding out the top 30. Then it will be your promotees from the B final. Macy Hitter, fresh from victory in that B final with Thomas Behrman. Aidan Mitchell and Reggie Haywood are your karts who have been promoted, repechaged if you will, up from the B final to the A final grid. Well, Kian Nakamura-Berta has already taken I think he's had 4 heat wins and a finals win today, competing as he does across both Army cadets and Honda cadets. Is he going to make it 2 finals out of 2? It would be an extremely impressive feat if he did. Just to give you the championship situation coming into today, Mitchell Gibbons leads. Ethan Simmons, who starts second on the grid, is second in the championship. Oscar Tewton is third. Ryan Ekberg, who is fourth in the standings, is not here today. So I wager that the championship standings will look a little bit different when all is said and done in this one. It's going to be 12 minutes plus a lap, so even more Honda Cadet action. It's going to be eyes on the lights then. Kian Nakamura-Berta on your right, Ethan Simmons on your left, and away we go in the Honda Cadet A final. It's a good start from the 22 I could see there. I think Oscar Tewton didn't have a good first phase of his getaway, but he's been able to retain his position, I think. Kian Nakamura-Berta, though, has exactly the start he needed. I think I saw a spinner there at the bottom of the hill in turn 2, but the field students, they're all underway again now. Kian Nakamura-Berta then holds onto it. Ethan Simmons has retained second place as well, and I believe that's Connor Duncan still in third. Yes, it is, as they all work their way through. Delighted to say that they're all still running. Up the inside of Oscar Tewton there goes... was that Spencer Browham? I think it may have been, as they work onto the back straight and head towards the boot. Final race of the day. What a treat this one's going to be. So closely together. Nakamura-Berta in a class that's so close has so far today been able to show a real turn of pace. Nakamura-Berta leads, Simmons second, Connor Duncan up to third, Jaden Gregg in fourth, Jack Plant in fifth. Mitchell Gibbons, good first lap for the points leader coming into today, has got himself up to sixth, and that looked like a move there from Ewan Charman on Spencer Browham through Christmas Corner as they work their way through Ashby. Macy Hitter, B-final winner, has had a warning, and look at this, squirreling around 3 abreast heading towards Wilkins in the mid-pack. But look at Nakamura-Berta, and look at this, battling between, that is, was that Mitchell Gibbons trying to make hay? Side by side goes Mitchell Gibbons with, I think it's Jack Plant there. Nakamura-Berta, Greg, Connor Duncan, Jack Plant and Mitchell Gibbons. It was Jack Plant and Mitchell Gibbons going side by side there towards the end of that lap. Who goes for an overtake this time? It's the 23 on the 35. That's Ethan Simmons against Zach Drummond. So Simmons has dropped down somewhat over the first couple of laps in the 23, but now trying to work his way back up the order. That looks like the 64 of Henry Nzideberg going for a move on Jamie Perilli, I saw there, into Ashby as well. But here we are back with the battle between Ethan Simmons and Zach Drummond. I think they're battling over 7th place, and Simmons has got the job done on Drummond this lap as they all head through the boot. There's Nakamura-Berta. Jaden Gregg as well has been able to break away from the main pack. Connor Duncan still in third, Jack Plant in fourth in the 55. Mitchell Gibbons up to fifth now in the 81. Oscar Tewton up to sixth, and seventh for Ethan Simmons. So we've got first third and second in the championship going into today, as Mitchell Gibbons, excuse me, goes up the inside of Oscar Tewton. No, sorry, that's up the inside of Jack Plant. So he's already gone past. Sorry, he was past Oscar Tewton. He's now past Jack Plant. Into fourth place is Mitchell Gibbons. Jack Plant has a quick look over his shoulder and sees an Oscar Tewton right behind him. Gustav Yuzakov's on the back of Zach Drummond, it looks like, in the middle of this as well. Through the boot they go. 45 of Ewan Charman looks to have got past the 22 of Morgan Hill as well for 10th place. Mitchell Gibbons has indeed got Jack Plant, and Charman has indeed got Morgan Hill. Spencer Browham gets past Bobby Rosier. Timo Youngling losing out 2 places. As Hayden Eldridge is dropping down the order. The 51 Kart, I think, may have run into some trouble out there, or may have pulled into the pits, because Eldridge is now dropped down to the back of the order as the battling continues. Joe Cheek, I think, has got past Calichurn there. And the 44 of Sakai right with them. This is a battle of 18th place. But that's all actually part of the same battle group, because they're all so close together, as Tewton goes up the inside to Jack Plant into the boot. So Oscar Tewton gets the job done, does he? But Plant's coming back at him. Plant gets the job done to get the place back. And behind them, there's still a battle raging between Simmons and Drummond over 7th place. Well, the records will show no official change of position there, but we all saw it. Brilliant battling between Jack Plant and Oscar Tewton through the boot section. Nakamura Berta still leading this one, but he's not too far ahead of Jaden Gregg. The gap's being kept within a second. It's 8/10 the gap between first and second, and 8/10 the gap between second and third. Jaden Gregg and Connor Duncan. You can see them there. They've just got a bit of breathing space over the 81 of Mitchell Gibbons. And then Jack Plant in the 55, the second kart in picture now. And is Oscar Tewton going to try what he did last time? No, he's not. Hold station for now. Top 10 through. See the 49 of Bobby Rosier on the back of Spencer Brown there, but he's just received a warning, has Rosier, so he'll have to be careful. Adrian Ziederberg gets past Jamie Perilli. Further back for 15th place, and Ryutaro Sakai's got past Calichurn. That's a battle that we saw a couple of laps ago. But look at this, Jack Plant has got back past Mitchell Gibbons. So this battle continues to rage on across the top 5, but this battling is allowing Connor Duncan to get on ahead in 3rd place. It's a brilliant battle over 4th place, but is at the expense of a battle for the podium, and there up the inside of Oscar Tewton goes Ethan Simmons. As it's Jack Plant now in 4th place, ahead of Mitchell Gibbons. Jack Plant now has been, Jack Plant ahead of Mitchell Gibbons. Ethan Simmons past Oscar Tewton on that lap. A little change amongst the top 10. There's still 5 minutes plus a lap to go. This is the battle for 2nd place, which has developed courtesy of Connor Duncan setting the fastest lap of the race last time around at 53.7, and he's now right on the back of Jaden Gregg. So suddenly this battle for 2nd is on, and he's going to go for it into Wilkins. Through goes Connor Duncan. Will Jaden Gregg have any response into Ozier's? Not for now. Change of 2nd place. Fair play to Connor Duncan, because he produced that opportunity by setting such blistering pace, and has now gone through into 2nd place. Nakamura Berta still leading this one, but it's behind him where all the battling's happening. There's still Jack Plant in 4th ahead of Mitchell Gibbons, and still Ethan Simmons is ahead of Oscar Tewton. So there's the battle for 2nd, there's the battle for 4th, and then there is Simmons and Tewton. And although Drummond has now got involved, Zach Drummond, and the 87 has gone round, that being Thomas Behrman, one of our promotees from the B final, has had a spin but has got going again. Battle for 4th then. Mitchell Gibbons all over the back of the 55 kart of Jack Plant now, and then behind them it's now becoming a several kart battle It's not just Ethan Simmons and Oscar Tewton anymore battling over 6th. As I say, Zach Drummond has got involved, as has Gustav Yuzakovs. And Ewan Charman isn't far behind either. There's Nakamura Berta leading this one. Connor Duncan has just set the fastest lap of the race though. It's just taken a quarter of a second out of the lead, and there is enough time for that gap to come down if Duncan can put in that kind of pace in his 43 car. Look how close Mitchell Gibbons is to the back of Jack Plant. You've got to think that he's just working together here, not challenging for the position, in the hope that they can work their way onto the back of Jaden Gregg in 3rd place. They head into Wilkins. They are very close though. Heading down into Osiers. And all these drivers, I think they've finished their initial battling and they're now thinking long term. Still, Ethan Simmons with Oscar Tewton for company in the battle over 6th place. Nakamura Berta leads this one, but again Connor Duncan takes some time out of his lead in the 43 kart. Jaden Gregg still there in 3rd, racing well, good pace. Still Jack Plant holding off Mitchell Gibbons for 4th place here. Simmons, Tewton, Zach Drummond, Gustav Yuzakovs. And then it's a couple of seconds back to the next pack of cards, which is led by Morgan Hill in 11th place. Just over 2 minutes plus a lap to go then, here in the final race of the day for round 3 of the WMKC at Whilton Mill. The shadows beginning to get a little longer here as we come to the close here. Still, Connor Duncan is closing the gap to Nakamura Berta. I'm not sure if it's going to be, I'm not sure if he's closing it down by enough, lap by lap, to have this one come the end of the race. Here's Oscar Tewton chasing the 6th place Ethan Simmons down into Ashby. Again, this is the calm bit just before it all goes mad towards the end. This is what the sprint racing is all about. Oh, that was a pass on there, further back in the field. So now's the kind of time, if you're going to pounce, now's the time to start thinking about it. There's going to be 2 more laps. Connor Duncan set a new fastest lap of the race, but is immediately beaten by Jaden Gregg. They're all closing up at the front of this one. Nakamura Berta has had such a strong day, whatever happens here, it has to be said. But Connor Duncan and Jaden Gregg are doing their absolute best to get onto terms with him here. Just that question, when see there, we just saw Morgan Hill come into shot. Actually no, it's Spencer Brown at the head of that field there. We just saw the Brown, Timo Youngling, Morgan Hill battle just came into shot there as we were looking up the road from Ashby. But we're back with our battle for 6th. Here's your race leader, Kian Nakamura Berta. He's going to come across the line before the timer hits 0, so it is going to be 2 more laps. He sets a personal best, but Connor Duncan sets a race best of 53.34. He's really giving it all his effort here. He takes another 3.5 tenths out of Kian at the front of this one. Can Connor Duncan do it? He's got 2 more laps to try. Meanwhile, is that Mitchell Gibbons has pounced? Yes, it is. Mitchell Gibbons has got past Jack Plant there for 4th place. So this is what I was talking about. Here's the point where it's time to pounce. And that little that change of positions has closed everything up in the battle over 4th place. So now Gibbons and Plant have been joined by Simmons, who tries up the inside of Osiers and it doesn't pay off, and that's going to leave him exposed surely to Oscar Tewton down the back straight. But can Tewton do anything with the advantage? No, he can't. But it's allowed Mitchell Gibbons just to get away slightly here. So now Ethan Simmons will look for a way past. We're on the last lap of the day. There's Nakamura Berta, and the gap is the closest it has been all race long between he and Connor Duncan. I'm not sure if it's close enough though. But we're looking at the battle here. Jack Plant goes defensive, but then leaves the door open for the 23 in this contact, and round goes Jack Plant. Oh, dearie me. Well, there was a little bit of moving there on the way up to Christmas Corner. But here are your leaders. Nakamura Berta looks over his shoulder because Connor Duncan, what a job he's done to reel in the leader here. One wonders what could happen if there were a few more laps, but we are nevertheless on the last lap, and so it's going to be Kian Nakamura Berta who finishes one of the most impressive days of running I've seen at Whilton Mill. He's going to take the finals win in Honda Cadets, having taken the IARMY Cadets as well. Kian Nakamura Berta wins, Connor Duncan second, Jaden Gregg in third, Mitchell Gibbons is going to take fourth, and Ethan Simmons and Oscar Tewton take fifth and sixth because of Jack Plant's spin up at Christmas Corner. Zach Drummond finishes well in seventh, eighth for Gustav Zuzikovs, Ewan Charman in ninth, 10th for Jack Plant after that spin. At least he still managed to salvage a top 10 finish there. Timo Youngling in 11th, Henry Ngzideberg finishes 12th, 13th for Bobby Rosier, Morgan Hill finishes 14th, Ryutaro Sakai was involved in some of those mid-pack battles that were so entertaining, finishes 15th, 16th for Spencer Browham. In the end, he dropped back a little bit in the latter part of that race because at one point I think he was as high as 11th or 12th. Jamie Perilli finishes 17th, 18th for Aston McAndrew Uren. Wesley Swain finishes in 19th. Nathan Marks rounds out the top 20 as Nakamura Berta pulls into the pits. Joe Cheat finishes 21st. Jehan Kalichern finishes 22nd. Macy Hitter, having been promoted courtesy of the B final win, finishes a very respectable 23rd. Devon Nolan in 24th, 25th for Hayden Eldridge. Jai Lawrence finishes 26th, 27th for Henry Jocelyn. Kaiser Ryman finishes 28th, 29th for Joshua Patch. Reg Hayward in 30th in the number 30. Archie Sugarhammer finishes 31st, 32nd for Aidan Mitchell. Thomas Berman finishes 33rd, and James Bell finishes 34th. I'm delighted to say all runners did finish that one. We didn't have any retirements. Well, that in dramatic fashion brings to a close the running for the day here at Whilton Mill. Thank you very much for supporting us here today. I think it's been an absolutely fantastic day of racing. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Thank you so much for keeping your comments in. I'm just going to put one or two on screen there. Right, it's time to bring this to a close then. Thank you very much for supporting the stream. If you've been watching us on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube to Alpha Live. Why not give Double Dash Motorsport Media a subscribe as well? We post some content up too on YouTube, on Facebook. Thank you very much for whichever page you've been joining us on. Give Alpha Live a like. And actually, whilst I'm on it, I'd like to thank all of the guys who have helped make the stream possible today. Thank you to James and Slavik, the cameramen out there, bringing you all of the pictures coming in. And thank you to Ben, who's been back here as well, and Darren Cook, who's been on controlling all the pictures behind me and shouting little tidbits of information when I've lost the plot. And also to James Fitchew of Alpha Live Productions, who's been coordinating all of that effort. Please support Alpha Live, give them a like on Facebook. My name's been Howard Mitchell. I'm from Double Dash Motorsport Media, as was Andrew Mather, who covered the first two rounds. We're going to be covering the series throughout the year, so please head on over to our page on Facebook, give us a like on there, give us a subscription on YouTube, and if you're active in the Twitter sphere, we're on there as well, at Double Dash MM. If you can't find us, just head over to double-mm.com, and we've got all the social media links there. Oh, we're on Instagram as well. Andrew will like me for saying that. He's set that all up as well. So if you're on Instagram, you can follow us there as well. Thank you very much for supporting the stream. I'd like to say thank you as well to WMKC for supporting us by having us on board as their streamers, and of course all the effort that goes into running these championships. It is no small feat whatsoever, so thank you to all of those, and in particular the marshals who are out there all day helping all the drivers, waving all the flags. Couldn't go racing without them. We should never forget that. That's everything then. Thank you very much for joining us, folks, for round 3. We'll be back in the 4th weekend of April for round 4. But until then, from me and from everyone here at Whilton Mill, it's goodbye.